now be live.
Grandioso.
Oh boy.
My God, we're so alive.
Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting to get... There it is, the link, so I can tweet this out, and then we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Super sweet.
As per usual, everyone who listens to the recording, it always starts with, just got a tweet. Good old YouTube. Beauty. Okie dokie, artichokes. Before we get right into the session, do you guys have any questions for me?
I'm fine.
Don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think good.
All right. Well, then let us begin. So when we last left off, you spent some time in Skyscape after the interaction with Nebuzir the Mind's Eye. Mila is still unconscious, but she's not in any sort of comatose state, more of a prolonged period of sleep. I won't rehash all the events, but suffice to say you got some more information, both after revisiting Nebuzir the Mind's Eye, and in addition to talking with the gem, should say gem merchant, the gem purveyor there at the center of the bazaar itself. In addition, Patrick visited Jezebel's books and scrolls and picked himself a little bit of something in regards to spirits of light. So my question for you guys as players is, what do you want to do next? What's your next goal? Do you want to stay in Skyscape, or do you want to return to the Rhapsody and go someplace else?
Well, we did have some discussion off session of what to do next, and
Okay.
Believe it or not, we came to the conclusion. Piph actually pointed this out. I think the best piece of information our characters got was from the gem merchant. When it comes to Mila, we got lots of information on Mila, but it's like a lot of information without the glue to hold it together. And the best piece of advice we got was actually when the gem merchant was talking to Tom under the idea of, when it comes to afflictions of the mind, they have to want to be helped. So as players in Piph and Burn, if you've had different thoughts on this, let me know. But we kind of like, okay, we got really good information here. And when a time comes to when we get more direction to use it, we'll have it and it'll be awesome. But for the time being, we have to wait until we have a better direction of some kind or another, so we're not just shooting in the dark. So I think we're going to just continue on and be ready for when something happens that gives us a chance to use that information.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's all well and good, but what do you want your characters to do next?
I think the idea is to go back to the Rhapsody and to perhaps go to New Laszlo, because there are 3 threads that end at New Laszlo. There is Al's sister. There is checking up on Morin, figuring out more stuff on her. And there's also the idea that if Mila gets worse, there's always Myrna's House of Healing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. But you're not going to be sticking around in Skyscape. You're going to head back to the Rhapsody, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
I think Piph.
Yep.
All right. Well then, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to take some narrative liberties in detailing you guys leaving Skyscape, if that's okay.
Sure.
Whenever I take a pause in the description or something like that, if you want to add something, feel free to. But getting at least some answers from the city, the astral city itself. You pack up your belongings and get ready to go. one last pass through the magnificent alien-like gardens, pass through the bazaar, and through what appears to be one of the main entrances. You would have noticed this the second you went in, but you did not have to check your weapons or your armor or anything at the front gates whatsoever. So exiting Skyscape is actually quite simple. You go through the large white stone archway of one of the main entrances, and before you know it, you're back again in a series of clouds. I think it's fair to say that when you met the threshold between the actual city itself and the astral plane above you, you would have gotten guidance, probably from a nearby Psy warrior, to continue to go in a straight direction, and soon the clouds would clear and you would be back on Earth. So, following such advice, you wander for straightforward in the astral plane with billowing smoke and clouds around you, distant lights shining, twinkling like bizarre alien stars in the distance. Thankfully, or perhaps unthankfully, you don't come across any other wanderers in this mist. And after a period of approximately 20 minutes on foot, the sky above, the white sky, white gray sky above you begins to turn to a light blue and then a dark blue, and you find yourself early morning back on Earth. Now, if I recall correctly, you guys decided what arms and armor you would take with you, but you are all on foot, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And while you're traveling on foot, Mila is still asleep, and Bear kind of has her he's been shifting her weight by carrying her. Sometimes it's like the bridal threshold, but right now currently he has her kind of as a fireman's hold, where she's pretty much slung over his left shoulder. But she's fast asleep. You hear sometimes small little mutters like, "I don't need any extra pancakes," or other such Mila-like dreaming mumblings. But she doesn't seem to be in any distress, and if she's plagued by nightmares, it doesn't show on her passive, peaceful face. If I also recall correctly, you landed the Rhapsody on a small plateau to the northeasterly direction of where Skyscape was assumed to be. And it is currently, or hopefully, is still hovering miles up into the air, waiting for you to get towards the plateau, or at least within a few miles of it, so you can get within radio range of the Rhapsody and have it land and pick you up. So you continue back your way, retracing your steps. And at this point, I would like those who have a land navigation skill, which I believe is only Patrick at this point, please roll it. It's a clear day. It's a clear morning. The weather is fine, and it's only been a few days since you've departed, so there'll be no negative modifiers to your skill check. All right. With Patrick leading and confidently at any point during the journey in which there is any ambiguity as to the direction you need to head, Patrick is able to get everyone back on track with little incident. 40 minutes pass, and sure enough, in reverse to your journey here, there are periods of light forest and heavy forest. And at this point, you reach You just cleared a section of denser forest, and things are clearing slightly. And I'm going to show a picture, kind of give you a representation of the environment that you're in right now, of a more lightly wooded area. And in fact, during this time, there is no old paved roads from the fallen empire. The most you get are dirt roads or from time to time gravelly tracks of other vehicles that have passed through this area. You've able to hook into one of these gravelly paths, allowing small vehicles to traverse. And Patrick knows if you follow it for the next 20 minutes or so, you will be well on your way towards the Rhapsody. While traveling on this road, I would like each of you to roll me a d20, please. Give me, yeah, okay, no worries, no worries. All right. And Tom got a 7. All right. Al, you rolled extremely well.
Thank you.
No problem. So you're the first to notice. In fact, you noticed before Bear. But as you travel, above the footsteps, the heavy footsteps of your power armor and the body armor and the golden armor of your companions. Sorry, you have mystic power armor on, right, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Regardless of the armor of your companions, above the crunching, graveling noise of that, you hear something else off in the distance. It sounds... Well, you hear in fact, actually, you hear a combination of 3 sounds, Al. You hear, at first, what seems to be a heavy, rolling, crunching sound, like the sound of a boulder rustling through the woods. You then hear, on top of that, the loud, belching, burping sound of what might be a gasoline-powered engine. And finally, since you rolled so well, you can also hear a few sounds of wailing moans as well. Go ahead.
Does it sound like it's getting closer?
You haven't listened. You've just started to hear it. You'd have to pause for a few seconds and continue to listen.
Yeah, Al would do just that. He'd hold up a hand, ask everyone to stop and be quiet, and then he'd listen for a second.
Do the other characters comply?
I do.
Yes.
Okay. As you all stop, Patrick, you're the next one to hear this collection of sounds. And Tom, a few seconds later, yourself. Bear seems extremely alert, and his ears are perked up as he points his head towards the origin of the sound. Yes, Squee?
What?
You're typing something.
Yes, I am. No, nothing that no plus signs or anything. Keep going, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, actually, so as you wait a few seconds, you all can determine that it's definitely getting a little bit louder, which means it's heading in at least your general direction. It's hard to gauge exactly how far off it is, but I'm just wondering if there's a skill that's used to help estimate sounds and distances. I don't think so, really. I think it's more of an instinct or maybe a part of wilderness survival. Tom, you have wilderness survival, don't you?
Let's see.
Or Patrick? Does someone have the wilderness survival skill?
Patrick
Or a
does.
hunting skill? Patrick does? Okay.
I have tracking and hunting.
Okay. hunting just gives you bonus to other things. So we're going to say it's within your skill set within the group to determine at least a rough estimation how far off it might be. Maybe half a mile? Half a mile to maybe a 3/4 of a mile. Maybe. You can tell one thing, though. Between when you first heard it and you're continuing to hear it now, it's probably moving faster than a foot pace.
So it seems to be a vehicle, and it seems to be about between a 1/4 of a mile and a half a mile away.
You might have misheard, or I might have more spoken. Between a half a mile and 3/4 of a mile away.
Okay. So do we hide, guys?
Yes, I think the best thing to do would be to hide until we have better information, especially since we have an unconscious Mila and we have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
Bear agrees wholeheartedly. He looks to all your armor and gives a bit of a frown. So, would you guys like to try just hide in the woods someplace?
Yeah.
How would you like to hide?
Yes. Tom's going to be fairly easy.
Yeah. I'm going to find something to just crouch down behind and use chameleon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Tom. Bear can take care of Mila. Because he's with her anyway, and he can conceal her.
You know, Al's going to try and hide, but taking Tom's lead, he's going to try and hide and cast invisibility, if he has time to do so.
Okay.
He looks like Patrick notices Bear's frowning and asks if he would like some assistance.
Bear says, I am not frowning because I am perplexed. I am worried about your armor. It is early in the morning. The sun is bright, and that reflects greatly.
True. But
my suggestion is to get far deep into the woods so you break any possible line of sight with this road.
that would be best. Though my friends and I are well versed in some magical arts. Camouflage and invisibility would probably mask such things.
The bear gives a stoic nod and he moves to the other side of the road, going deep into the woods itself, with Mila in tow. So, you said if you want to hide and then cast invisibility, Squee, depending on how much time you have. How much time you have is determined as how far away from this kind of gravel dirt road you plan on, tracking yourself from. Like if you're walking for a good 10 minutes first, then you might not have time.
No,
but give me an approximation about how far, distance-wise, feet-wise, away from the road you want to be. Everyone, even the ones who are going into Chameleon, it's important.
Right. I'd want to be maybe, depending on the coverage of the foliage, I'd maybe want to be 100 feet. The truth is, I'm kind of curious. I want to see what this thing is, so I don't want to get so far away that I don't see the road.
You can find a place. It's the light woods itself. The trees are spaced out enough. 100 feet, you're able to peek through some and get a good idea of what's on the road. Sure.
Okay, that's what I'd be going for.
Okay.
I will be going for 150 feet.
Okay.
My approximate travel time will be 2 minutes as a nice run, not sprint.
Okay, and distance-wise?
I'm not quite sure how much 2 minutes would cover. I do have a
Well,
speed
your
value.
speed is if your speed value is that's how many feet per second you go.
Okay. Oh, per second.
Yes. So what is
Yes.
your speed value?
19.
Times 19. That
So you
is
can go 19 feet per second. So 2 minutes gets you pretty far away.
2,280 feet.
I think I'll go 1,000 feet.
Okay.
All right, 1,000 feet away. All right. Now, for those of you who are using magic, I'd like you all to find the spell that you're utilizing because the duration and PPE cost is important at this point.
Mhm.
Obviously.
Yes.
All right, I have it. My PP is 6. Duration is 3 minutes per level of experience. I have 4 levels, so 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Mine would be Chameleon, 6 PP, 36 minutes.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
For me, it is Chameleon as well, and I do believe
Mhm.
that is the same amount for me.
For ISP,
There's no
remember you're
cost on.
utilizing.
It's on the Mystic Power Armor. It doesn't have an associated cost.
Must be at will then.
Yeah. But
Give me a moment.
Okay.
I want to confirm that.
No problem.
I know where it is in the main book, so it should be easy enough. I just want to put my own little eyes on it.
Mhm.
Per melee. Use that well.
Mhm.
Okie dokie. Ah, it's the armor of Ithan that costs
Yeah.
PPE, which is the equivalent of ISP for you.
Mhm.
Okay. So, those who have a duration of 36 minutes, Tom's is infinite, so that's no problem. The 36 minutes is not going to be an issue. You're going to have plenty of time. For Squee, using your invisibility is 12 minutes, and you might be waiting longer than 12 minutes for these guys to come into potential view. So is it fair to say, I mean, let's use some common sense. You're not going to cast invisibility the second one they're still far, far off in the distance that you can hear them, right? You'll probably wait to listen and hear if they get a little bit closer and then cast your spell.
Yes, but
Unless you want to be super careful and cast it a
That's what I was
couple
gonna say.
times. Okay.
I'm probably going to lean towards the side of being more cautious because, from Al's
Okay.
experience, they
Mm-hmm.
could have advanced guard that I'm not seeing or something like that. So
Okay.
he might wait for them to get a little closer, but he is going to cast it on the side of caution.
Okay. Well, then, let's just say you'll need to cast it twice before before whatever shows up gets within eyesight. Okay.
I will mark it off.
Well, yeah, why don't you go ahead and burn off that PPE right now, please?
Mhm.
Piph, make sure you do the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, and give me a moment as well. Make it easier. Oh, okay. It's even beyond a 1. Good job there. You are, for those, I believe Squee and Tom are approximately 100 feet away from the road, while Patrick is a good 1,000 feet away.
I'm 150, but yeah, basically.
Okay, 150. Tom and Al, you'll probably be happy to see that Bear and Mila went onto the opposite side of the road, and you cannot see hide nor hair of them. They have disappeared into the foliage expertly. There's no glaring revelations of their location currently.
Great.
Bear does
Good.
have a radio if necessary. But give me a moment here as I come up with a eloquent way of describing what you come across. So, the sounds first. First comes the sound, that sound of a rolling boulder, crunching gravel underneath of it, splitting. You can kind of hear in the distance a few weak, small trees that were near the side of the gravel road that you passed by just, 5 minutes before, snapping and breaking. You hear a burst of a rev of an engine, and the thing, they're not screams, they're more like low moans, pained wails, perhaps. Then, no, Patrick's too far away, and both of you have your power armor, so unfortunately I cannot describe the smell for you, since those who are close enough have a full environmental armor for the lack thereof. Excuse me. The first thing you see, those who are Tom and Al, that is, the first thing you see is a shadow that crosses just above the tree line, ahead of the sound of this vehicle. And what you see in the air are these peculiar, oh my goodness, Inferno, there we go. Vulture-like creatures. Now, they're much larger than your average vulture, I guess you could say. I'm just trying to find the size of the darn thing. Oh, there we go. They seem to be about 6 feet tall from beak to tail, and their wingspan is nearly double that. They have this vicious beak that drips with what you can only assume is some sort of saliva as it drips down upon the grass of the road ahead, causing little singes to do once it hits the blades of grass. Their long, puke yellow legs flex with incredibly sharp talons. They fly overhead, and within a minute, you can see the main caravan. Floating at the head of it is a creature that all of you recognize, although not the exact... Oh, come on. There we go. Although not the exact witchling you once hunted down and killed a while back. The floating torso and the wild hair and the ugly face of a witchling floats ahead of this caravan. Flanking on either side are putrid lumps of flesh with wings grotesquely growing out from it. Stubby arms and legs without any sort of shapes of hands or feet, riddled with spikes. 2 heads disgusting maw and these strange runes covering over these things floats on either side of the main vehicle itself. The main vehicle, imagine a pickup truck, a very large pickup truck with a bed in the back, but instead of the front cab with traditional wheels, you have something equivalent to a roller, a construction paver, you know, one of those large, big rolls that roll on the ground and flatten things before it. You see a 10-foot tall, 30-foot long vehicle. It is painted jet black with streaks of red. But the red is not paint, it is dried blood. On the front, on the top of this vehicle, sits a grotesque, blob-like being made of sick, pale flesh, 400 pounds of a gelatinal mass with a warty face atop this blob of meat and flesh. 2 small hands at the controls, what appears to be levers at the front of this cab. In the back, in the bed, it's not empty. It is filled with corpses, dead bodies. You can't see the details of any faces. Some of them appear to have shreds of body armor on them. Some of them do not. Some are whole and complete. Others are just body parts, heads, hands, feet, rotting away in the morning sun. And on the front and on the sides of this wagon are spikes. At least 3 dozen of various sizes, from 8 feet large to long to 2 feet long, and occupying at least half of these 36 spikes are impaled people. Some of them mercifully dead, but now you know the sounds of moaning. Some are alive still, impaled on this monstrosity. As it begins to get into your view, Al and Tom, you are close enough to recognize a similarity amongst all these beings. And that is painted on the blob-like torso of the creature that's driving this wagon, on the wagon itself, on the forehead of the lichling, on the chest of the vulture-like creatures, and on the wings of the winged blobs that are flanking the side of the vehicle, is a symbol, what you're assuming is some sort of symbol or mark. And I'm going to give a very rough drawing of it real quick. So it is, unfortunately, all in red as well. A jagged circle with what appears to be a fake horizon, and underneath of it, black streaks of soot or refuse.
This might be on the GM layer.
Yeah.
Oh, it probably is. Well, not for long. There it is.
Ah.
So, Patrick, much of what I described, you can see, although you don't get as full of a picture as Tom or Al since you're so far away. But you're enough to see the figures, especially the flying vulture-like creatures. And you're able to identify the witchling and, of course, the vehicle, the large vehicle itself. But you're not able to see the details of the marks on them. And from time to time, the line of sight is blocked when they pass by a cluster of trees. Thankfully, however, you're getting a significant bonus when it comes to them even attempting to detect you. At this point, I'm going to roll a few dice. Before I continue describing these things, I think it's only fair for those of you who have demon and monster lore to roll a d100. Now, unfortunately, these are not considered... Well, no, that's not true. No, demon. If you have demon and monsters, or if you just have monster lore from last session.
Woohoo!
Woo!
No penalties, but no bonuses. We're going to assume the witchling is known to you, because it is. Okay. Alright, Patrick rolled very well. Tom did not. Oh, and Al, I'm assuming you failed as well.
Yeah, I failed. Yeah.
Okay, but Patrick succeeded well enough that there's no need for a second roll. You are able to identify two of the other individuals who are in this macabre caravan. The first and foremost, Patrick, are the vulture-like creatures. They're mostly known by the descriptor Lugaroo. You've read or have learned from your tutor back in Lecree or your own research. I'll leave it up to you on how you've learned this, but you do know that they are giant, semi-intelligent, vulture-like creatures, and they particularly love to prey on the weak and helpless. And they're also carrion eaters, much like actual vultures. They delight in feeding on the dead. What is slightly perplexing is that they're typically found in deserts and wastelands, so this lush forest is not their typical habitat. According to ancient myth, tellers, they're rumored to have been witches who, in exchange for their supernatural powers during their lifetimes, must now, after death, live as evil carrion eaters. You're unable to figure out the truth of that claim or not, but what is known here in present time is that Lugaroo are foul creatures that cannot die from normal weapons of man. You rolled well enough to know that they are sensitive to silver. In addition, you also know that they are impervious to any sort of poison. There's also rumor that they can also master the mystic arts, aka cast magic. The second creature you are able to identify and have information of is this creature here that I'm pinging here on the top, that hopefully I'm on the right layer now. No, I'm not. Yeah, that guy. You know it as a black fairy. Black fairy is a supernatural creature, which, by the way, if you had Ed, your amulet, attuned to supernatural evil, this thing is humming like crazy. The thing is called a fairy by academics because it can speak the fairy tongue and at least appears to be some sort of strange monster or mutant from that family of creatures known mythologically as fairy folk. It is clearly hideous in both appearance, but it's also known to be hideous indeed. They are known to love to torture and to kill, and it will kill humanoids and other creatures just for sheer pleasure. You also know that they loathe things of beauty and will destroy them whenever possible, sometimes going out of their way to do so. Thankfully, unlike the Lugaroo, there have been stories of them being injured by conventional weapon fire. But you also know that they are impervious to fire and cold. And you also know that, like other fairy folk, this black fairy can cast spells as well. So, with that knowledge in your head and your ability to identify some of this mad procession, the Lugaroo fly overhead. They do not call out. They do not make a remark on you. And soon, Patrick, Tom, Al, these beings begin to cross until they're almost right in front of you, right, like directly in your line of sight. Obviously 100, 150 feet away, 1,000 feet away, right? For they're crossing right in front of you. You can see what appears to be a young woman on a spike twitching horribly as one of these black fairies moves over to it and smacks her on the head a little bit with a protrusionary hand, causing her cheek to bleed rivets of blood as it gives this disgusting, gibbering laugh. As it begins to pass in front of you, the bloated being on top of the truck brays out in a language that you do not understand. But it is guttural. It is disgusting to the ears. And in response, the hovering witchling at the front of the vehicle pauses, turns around, gives a solemn nod, replies in an equally guttural language, and the being on top of the truck laughs, the witchling laughs, and the garbled, gibbering noise coming from the black fairies might be laughter as well. It doesn't look like they've noticed you, as this wagon of misery and death, flanked by its inhuman, cruel crew, continues on its way down the road. If at any point you guys would like to do anything or discuss in and out of character in regards to this scene, feel free.
I have nothing in character, but I'm open to anything out of character if you guys want to.
What a motley crew of fucking spellcasters. Holy shit, this is... Whew.
Yeah, so out of character.
Whew.
Now, in character, obviously, you guys know Al. He'd want to help the people that are suffering, but he has no idea what he's up against, and he's not crazy.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, basically.
He thinks they look menacing enough that he's not about to attack them right now and possibly just run into death.
Yeah.
So he's gonna sit quiet. He might, after they pass, ask, "Do we think there's something we can do?" So we might as well ask this out of character. Do we think there's something we can do?
Fuck no. The thing that we can
we
do.
can do things.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, do you think we could take them on and have a good chance of success? Because this would be a fight.
Good
This would be a
chance,
hell of a
no.
fight.
Yeah.
Good chance, no.
We
We had a hard time with one witchling
yeah.
in power armor.
Yeah.
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 Wait. Oh yeah.
We were in power armor. Yeah.
Although to be fair, she had her own little posse of people too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and a better way to ask it, of course, from my point of view, would be, what are characters like? If we put our heads together with Patrick, would we come to the conclusion that, yeah, those people on the pike, we could help them? Because I mean, Al really wants to, but not if he gets all his friends killed. This is a little different than seeing Lee.
There is exactly 3 offensive for us, and I don't know the exact
4
numbers
if you
of them.
count Bear.
Yes.
4 if we count Bear,
Yeah,
but that would mean that Mila would
I'd
be.
I'd lean with Piph on this
vulnerable.
one. We'd need Bear to guard Mila, because
Yeah.
if someone finds Mila,
She's completely helpless.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we
Okay,
have
sorry,
one
I didn't mean to
witchling.
interrupt them.
We have
No, it's
one
fine.
witchling. We have 2 of these dark fairies. How many of these Lugaroos?
2.
2. So that's 5.
And
back in the
don't
day-
forget the like
big guy.
Yeah, the big guy. So that's
that would
6.
be like a tank plus kind
Yeah.
of thing.
So that was 6 things. Now, back in the day when we fought the witchling, granted, we were a lot less levels, but we did have power armor, and the witchling had some backup, but not to the extent of 5 potential spellcasters.
Yeah, I can definitely say if there was time, Patrick would probably strongly heed, like, this might be more dangerous because they seem to be, if they're working together, this might be more than we can chew.
Yeah. If they, that is another good point. If they weren't all belonging to the same thing, which because of the symbol, it seems like they are all together as a group. Whew.
Yeah,
Well, that
could be
and I was
painful.
thinking, like, to me, this is very similar to the Splitgorth encounter, which is a very, very dangerous foe. But when we took on the Splitgorth, we had everyone up front and center. You know, it wasn't
yeah.
just the 3 of us.
Yeah. We also
I
had
think-
ATVs with turrets and all that stuff.
Now, I mean, and I think that, sure, I want to help. My heart goes out to the people there, but if we just get ourselves killed, we got to know what battles to fight and which ones not to.
Yeah.
If we just run into every battle we come across, and this is even Al speaking, or from the point of view of Al,
Mhm.
we are going to die, and then we're going to help no one.
Yes. In fact, we're going to help less people because we want to help more. And we want to help
Right.
Mila. So in fact, by us not doing anything, we could potentially help more people.
Now, here's a question that we would probably know as characters, but well, actually, maybe not. Infernos.
Yes.
Perrin hasn't put anything on the ship yet in the way of defensive stuff yet, right?
Correct.
Okay. So
Right now, it's in the training his crew phase.
right. And I mean, we could maybe call the ship down, but then we're exposing the ship, and God knows what they might be able to do to the ship because they cast spells. I mean, like, we do have that heavy weapon, which would level the playing field a bit because Alicia's at the helm, and Alicia's a badass. But I don't know if we want to take that risk.
Yeah,
If we even could take that risk, I think we're still pretty far away.
You're not
from
you're not within communications range
Yeah.
right
yeah.
now.
I'm
Yeah.
Another 20 minutes of travel on foot, and you will be.
yeah, I
Maybe less if you expedite yourself somehow.
I honestly, I think that in character and out of character, I would say that this is just one we might have to let go because From my point of view, the risk is just way too high. I feel bad for them, I really do, but throwing our bodies into a fire is not going to help them.
Yeah.
Well,
and it's not. I don't think it's that hopeless, but it's dangerous, very, very.
I can definitely say, out of character, I think we can fight this.
You think so?
But
I mean, if you guys want to, hell, I'll throw on my black light blades and go to town. It'd be fun.
I
would strongly suggest General one thing.
What?
We don't try to do this right in front of them. We take some distance. We target the ones that we can, and so on and so forth.
No, I think we should just pass this up.
Right.
That's just me. Unless you guys really want to go straight back to the ship and get everybody.
No, I'm thinking this way. It would be kind of fun, but it would also be incredibly dangerous to just attack him head on. You're right. Is there a way we could not attack him head on? Maybe lay a trap for them, an ambush.
I'll tell you one thing right now. They're not going particularly fast. They don't seem to be in any sort of hurry. They're maybe going 5 miles an hour. Not even. Also, it's very clear by the size of this vehicle, the tracks it leaves are very distinct. This is not a subtle group.
Mm-hmm. Patrick and I would suggest wait until they get some distance, take a few of them out at a distance, and then at that point, if they somehow get an advantage on us at that point, we at least trim down their numbers. And also, we can get properly equipped and ready to take down specific enemies.
I kind of like this idea. I like the idea of backing off, preparing for this fight, and fighting them on our terms. Those people, actually, GM, and I know this would be hard from where he is, but can I make maybe a paramedics check to see, like, can these people, are they going to survive half an hour? Are they dying fast, or?
I'm sorry. I'll only be able to give you a basic, like, in order to do a diagnosis, you need to have a little bit more hands-on than just looking at someone, right?
Right.
So, at a quick glance, there's no need for you to do a skill check. Because you're not really utilizing your skill all that much, but you do have knowledge. Some of them on the spikes have probably hit arteries and are bleeding out and will die out regardless. Some, however, seem to, although be in extreme pain, have not hit any vitals. Lose space real quick from what you've seen. It's possible to save maybe a couple lives, hopefully. What's probably even more barbaric is that whomever put these on the spikes seemed to capitalize the threshold between pain and survivability. They want these people to survive a long time and be in misery and torture for a long time.
And where are they placed on the vehicle?
On the spikes.
Like on the front?
Impaled on the spikes. The ones through the gut could probably survive. The ones through, torsos and whatnot probably wouldn't.
What if we did something like this, like Patrick said, like back off, Piph, like Piph said, back off, prepare, get out ahead of them, plant some explodey blocks underneath the ground, make them like I can roll demolitions check.
If we're planting explodey blocks, that might splash to the people.
That was going to be my thing. If we plant it under the vehicle, it would maybe disable the vehicle, but not the people. I'd have to.
If I recall correctly,
a damn good demolitions check.
Yeah, you have to do a damn good one because the unless I'm very much mistaken, the the plasma blocks
Mhm.
are on a timer only.
I would have to do a demolitions check to try and make it pressure sensitive. I don't know how easy or hard it would be. That's up to Inferno, but I could attempt it. Because I've modified them before to do different things.
Yeah.
But my thought would be make it pressure sensitive so that it won't go until the big thing rolls over it. And that might disable the thing, but you're right, it might also hurt the people. That was just one idea. But the thought is set up an ambush and get them going different directions.
All right. If you guys want to do this, then I guess we can do this. If there's any enemy that I can take out, it's this.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, though. We're backing off...
Let me explain, though.
Okay.
I have Witchfire. Do you remember what that thing is? Do you remember the thing from Ver?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. It specifically deals double damage to witches, witchlings, and vampires. So I can kill this thing possibly if I get into melee.
Hey, Inferno.
That's my name.
The floaty pick-like things. How many eyes would you say they have?
Oh, God.
What, you mean the black fairies?
Uh-huh.
They have two heads.
Like 4,
Okay.
maybe 5.
What about the big guy?
The blob.
Oh, he has
The
two
Jabba
eyes.
the Hutt. So we set up some sort of ambush. And plus, if we go back, we can come back with everyone. We can come back with Bear, Alicia, Blink, just them. And
With
you
her
know, the other,
Samson.
if the trainee crew want to help, that's fine. But that's 6 to 5 now. 7 to 5. 6 to 5. Whatever. It's a good, much better chance.
Yeah, it is. I'd rather do that.
I think it would be fun. And we haven't been in a tough fight in a while.
All right.
That's not Al speaking. That's not Al speaking.
I know that's Squee speaking, but still, all right. I
The
mean,
violence.
I have a feeling this will end in tears.
Yeah, but maybe. Well, but I mean, how is that different from any other fight?
These are spellcasters. I don't know what they
Advocating
do.
for violence. Yeah.
I'm so scared of this.
The answer
have
is
no
any
idea.
number of ways.
Yes.
Okay, Bern, are you truly, truly uncomfortable, or are you just like excited but apprehensive type of thing?
I'm very apprehensive. I'm not that excited. I'm not that into it because of the idea that we would be potentially giving up our lives for a handful of people, like we said way back in the past, but now we're really jazzed about taking out these guys, so I guess we're taking out these guys. So,
Well,
I mean,
I was always jazzed about saving a couple of people and risking my life for it. It was a matter of, is it suicide or not?
it very well could be. We don't have enough information.
We have a lot.
We have a lot.
Yeah, Patrick will have a lot.
What about that big huge thing? No. Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on.
I know.
What about that
I
big
know what
thing?
you mean. You don't know what they're completely capable
Yeah, I
of.
have
Yeah,
no idea.
I don't.
what big
I don't
thing
know
is.
if this thing can shoot lasers out of its head, out of its eyes. I don't
I
know
don't
if
know.
that can just possess people.
Patrick
The
would know.
only no, Patrick doesn't know specifically what spells it knows. Patrick understands that these guys are spellcasters, or can be. The only thing we are very likely going to know is the Witchling. The Witchling really, really liked, the Witchling that we fought last time, really liked screwing with people's minds, blinding people, doing crowd control stuff. So, I mean, that's a thing too. And out of character, he's immune to fire.
That's out of character.
Well, a
in
lot of this is
character,
out of
Patrick
character.
would
But
definitely.
Patrick will know that.
Yeah.
Patrick will know that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
If,
guys pull back the plan,
yeah.
he'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, heads up, immune to fire."
Yeah, the
Oh, God,
person
yeah.
that throws fire, that thing can't get hurt by fire. Just a heads up.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, and ice, just in case.
fucking like there's also that big thing driving. We don't know what it can do. We don't know if there's any armaments on the
Things
truck,
unique.
although it very likely will not have anything.
You couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
Its compartment was for bodies, and they're not fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So wait, I guess. Oh wait, no, you're
We're-
still trying.
we're
to
still- we're
talk
still
Brennan into
determining.
doing this. Okay, I'll shut
still
up.
dicing.
I'll shut up. I'll let you guys take
Th-
your time.
This,
I mean, it's
those
your
are
game.
my concerns. If you want to do this, I will have no choice and I will go along. I'm fine with that.
Whoa.
But
We
first,
have choice.
But first, we need to go back to the ship. We need to regroup. Period. I'm not okay with just trying to ambush them right now with just the three of us.
All right, so I'm all for fighting them. I think it would be fun, and I think that it would make Al feel great to help someone. I'm not all for doing it if it makes you feel like you're being forced to do something.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying that's not fine. It's not fine that you're feeling like you're forced to do something. I don't want that.
Fucking make up your
So-
mind.
Do you want to force me or not?
Like like I said, I am fine if we go back to the Rhapsody and get everybody and get our stuff, get all decked out. Then we can possibly do this.
You'll feel more confident then.
I will feel a lot more confident. But as of right now, I'm apprehensive because of the fact that we might save a handful of people and do tremendous risk because of these magical beings.
Hey, if you want reward, remember the last time that we killed one of those witchlings were? Magic items.
Well, yeah.
And the satisfaction of saving people's
No,
lives.
we're talking sweet magical stuff, Squee.
Okay,
Your
okay. If
life
there's a
and
couple
death
magic
situation.
items, let's get this
Sorry,
going.
I'll take my.
See, there we go.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna take my morals and go home. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, Squee.
We're not talking about the no value of human life. Or
Yeah, freaking
Go.
life and death and morality. We got.
I
some
don't see a
magic
Lee
stuff.
there,
Yeah.
Squee. I don't see the point.
Squee,
Yeah.
Squee, go pet your dog.
Okay.
Anyway, fine. As long as we go back to the Rhapsody and get everybody, and
I would
get
say that
Mila
was
to
an
a safe
absolute-
place. Get Mila to a safe place.
Yes. So we get Mila to a safe place. We get the crew. So Blink, Bear, Alicia, Tyrath, and let's do this.
Tyrath.
don't call Tyrath.
Don't call
What?
Tyrath.
Oh.
He'll be mad.
Even the GM's like, you don't want to do that.
you really
He
don't.
made it really clear.
Don't
Unless you want to fight
bother me.
Tyrath. He'd be like, "Hey, Tyrath,
Yeah.
I told you not to bug me." He
Yeah, but
shows
the
up,
magic
I'm like,
items
roll for
Inferno.
initiative.
Magic-
And you guys are like,
Mm.
"Oh,
No, but
I'm
Tyrath, we
trying
can't
to
fight. We
sleep,
have other things to
kinsman.
fight. All right, so yes.
roll for
Um,
initiative."
So I think that obviously we're going to wait until they pass and then regroup.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
or unless we're caught or something, yeah.
All right. Well, let me describe that then. You can soon they're first out of sight of Patrick due to his distance. Then Tom and Al can see this disgusting cavalcade of beings roll out of sight. It takes a few minutes before all you hear once again are the distant rumblings of the engine and the rollers on that vehicle. Thankfully, you can't hear any wails, but you're confident now that they have gone quite a distance away from you now. Yeah, you can regroup in safety back on the road. And if you choose to go back to the road to regroup on the road, you can I can confirm what I said before. the distinct rollers on this thing clearly have small stub-like spikes on them as well, and it leaves an extremely unique print upon the earthen and gravel ground. Um, it a blind man could follow this practically.
I'm sorry. Just before this, Squee was playing his blind character, and that same
Oh,
line
yeah.
pretty much said line for line.
Really?
Even
Yeah.
you could follow this.
Wow.
I'm just like, oh, dick.
Wow. What
But
can I
yes,
say?
you didn't know. I understand. But
When Bear returns with Mila, he can notice that he's brushing off a few of the foliage that I was hiding her under, and he makes a remark with a bit of disgusted snarl on his face, and he says, "The stench alone. Awful."
they were torturing them.
Bear gives a small nod.
I will never understand why someone would take pleasure in that.
Well, they're not people, so that's a thing.
Al just shakes his head, not disagreeing.
Anyways, the first order of business is we need to get back to the ship. Specifically because Mila needs to be in a safe place. But I think that... And he'll turn over to Bear. I think that Al and Patrick want to come back full force and see if we can save anybody.
Al will kind of snort and say, maybe you know me too well.
Bear
Patrick
will
responds by a glint of his armor in the distance.
As he comes closer.
Oh yeah, because he was further away, and his speed value isn't as great. As Patrick begins to come upon the road, he can overhear Bear say, "When Mila is safe aboard the Rhapsody, I will assist you. No one should endure such pain. These creatures are foul and awful."
All
I
right.
wonder what Alicia will think. As Patrick
Oh my god.
takes a twig off of his shoulder.
Oh,
Out of character. I didn't even think about that.
I think she'll be really easy to convince.
Oh crap. Alright. And I would say yes, first things first. We gotta get Mila back there. We have to prepare. It's not like it's gonna be hard finding them again.
Agreed. They were going very slow as well. Let us embark.
Yes.
So, am I good to take narrative control? Now, as you guys are walking your 20 minutes, or if you pick up the pace, it'll be 15. Would it be fair to say, and I don't want to put words in your characters' mouths, but I think this would be an opportune time for Patrick to divulge the knowledge he knows about the creatures. So this is a good reason why all the players would know what I told Patrick.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, so
Patrick would be pretty much regurgitating all of the specific facts, and usually he's very excited whenever he's talking about this. But in this particular circumstance, surprise, he seems to be a bit cold about his descriptions.
Okay. No big surprise on that. All right. So yeah, you even know the vulnerabilities and the immunities of these creatures.
Yeah.
Patrick will also put out some theories, as well as my own.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Now,
Okay, sorry.
now I haven't seen anything like this before, but they seem to have at least a group going on. And since they all seem to be themed, I have a sneaking suspicion that they might have specific utilities to help each other out. A plan of attack that they seem to use on most of their victims. My suggestion is to take out a portion of them so they do not have their full cycle of tricks.
Well, a standard operating procedure back in the academy was if you're facing an organized and well-trained unit, to make them run in different directions. No one can stay organized if they're fighting on multiple fronts.
Why don't we take both of these? Make sure that we are positioned properly. Make sure that we have our targets well known before we get the fight started.
Agreed. And we fight them on ground that's favorable to us. I would say, so those bird-like things, silver can hurt them. Do you know if magic can hurt them?
I know our weapons can't, but magic, I believe, would probably have its full effect.
Al would nod. And the fairies, we could just... My thought is attack from a distance using rifles and make them come to us before... Try and thin their numbers out before things get bad, and maybe try and make them go in different directions. A few of us, Blink and I, and maybe Tom, depending on what he's wearing, could be maneuverable enough to be a second party and still get to the first party in case things get bad.
Oh,
I'm thinking about that.
I'm going to be wearing this, just to let you know.
Al would nod. Make them fight in two different directions.
Since I'm not entirely sure what your goal would be, but I'm assuming you want to at least help as many of those that are impaled.
This is going to sound cold, but the first priority would be to ensure that they can never do that to anyone else again. The second priority would be saving those they've already done it to.
If you'd like to save as many as you can, I suggest that we take out all of the aerial units and then take out the pilot or the machine in close proximity. As much as those spikes do not appeal to me, I'd rather not. I'd be concerned if we used anything large, and I would assume anything with range might not work, since I would assume he might recede into such a machine.
I agree.
A physical approach might be best, a way to get on top.
I honestly think that that big thing, that big guy, we don't know what he's capable of, but he might be the most dangerous one of all, and he doesn't seem like he can move incredibly well. If we disable that machine somehow, or at least draw the fight away from it fast enough that he can't follow, take out his little goons, and then deal with him.
That was my second thought. I'm not sure. I have to review our stock, but do we have anything that can take down machinery? I have some shotgun rounds, which will probably not get to its finer electronics.
I have one thing that could certainly hold that machine in place for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Carpet of adhesion.
Mm. You really love that thing, don't you?
It's incredibly useful.
Hmm.
It would hold that thing for, hang on, let me think here. Was it 4 melees in a minute?
Yeah.
So 10 minutes. Yeah. It could hold it for about 10 minutes, unless they have a way of countering it.
Patrick gives a small grin. You know, I was thinking that the dirt and gravel would not hold, but I remember that we do have something.
Hmm? What do we have?
We have an anchor that we can use to hold it onto the ground to make sure that it cannot be moved. And Patrick actually stops for a second. No, maybe that won't work.
What are you talking about?
There were some funny looking rocks a while back.
Oh, right, those things. Do we still have one of those?
Most of them were destroyed as Patrick glances over to Al.
Al looks away. I just thought of something that would be very effective, though it would require the ship.
What?
That big blob probably can't fly. I'd be willing to bet it can't fly.
What the hell are you thinking?
Carpet of adhesion.
To the ship?
To the bottom of the ship and let the ship fly up and then just let the spell go.
You would just as easily crush it.
Huh?
Okay, look. That is going to take some precision flying that I don't
Not
even
really.
think I would.
You just have to fly over it. I'll attach the
They're
carpet.
How
actually
long?
very big.
Yeah, how long can you make that carpet of adhesion?
Oh, about 200 feet.
Okay, 200 feet up.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good distance
That's
up.
pretty low.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Though this thing can... Oh, wait. Okay. Let me back out of character. I mean, this thing can, turn and stop on a dime, right? None of the trees are anywhere close to 200
Not on
feet.
a dime.
Well, but
it has very good maneuverability.
It does have
as
very
you've
good
seen on
maneuverability.
Mars.
So, and the trees... Well, actually, I should ask. I shouldn't assume. How tall are the trees around here? Average.
15 to 20 feet tall.
Okay.
So that's
15 to
a
20
good
feet tall.
150 feet at least of space to play around with. That's a lot of space.
Okay, so who do you want to fly it?
Good question. Never mind. I'd rather have Alicia and you here.
I mean, I'll fly the ship if you really want me to. I mean,
An idea.
Don't mind me. I'm just rolling dice. I'm saving us time.
Well, then, is there another way to disable the vehicle? I mean, disabling it isn't exactly necessary. It looked rather slow. If we could draw away his forces fast enough. But the big point, I think, is we don't want to fight them around that guy or that vehicle. We'd rather take out the guards first and deal with the vehicle second.
yeah.
Yes, I would assume him last might be best. Though, we should make sure that a plan B is involved if, for some reason, he is our only target.
God, too bad Lee's not here.
What would he do?
Remember that elemental he wanted to summon for us?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Well, no point in if wishes were horses. But I say we get back to the ship. Maybe Perrin's people would be able to help somehow. But the truth of the matter is, we won't really know what we have to fight with until we get back there.
Yes.
Done with in-character stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeesh. Okie dokie. So you have this conversation, of course, as you journey. And sure enough, you can see you're within eyesight of the actual plateau itself. And you do know that you're now within radio range. Fair to say that you call the Rhapsody to land on that plateau, that clear area for you, and you're able to board the ship. I can narratively kind of speed things along rather than you having to hunt everyone down. You call for a brief meeting after Bear lets Mila into her room, sets her down on her bed, in which yourselves, August, Alicia, Blink, Bear, McLaughlin, Zoe, and... Oh, give me a moment. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Squee, go to the bathroom.
Thank you. Be right back.
God.
I hate that. I hate kid speak. Personally.
Squee is now 5.
Give me a second here. Oh. Marlis. Marlis Stotch, of course.
Oh.
So we'll just wait for Squee to come back.
I might as well go too. Just really quickly. I'll be right back.
All right. Impromptu bathroom break.
For everyone curious what the heck I'm doing, I am looking over a few of my items to see what may help in the situation. Like
You do have a lot of them.
I do. An item that I forgot that I had that may be useful. There is a
Are you like super close to your mic? You sound like you're in my head all of a sudden.
no, I'm just well, I was a little closer, but I
Okay.
was speaking a particular way. Okay. I forgot that I had a flechette rifle.
Yes.
And specifically, I have magnetic particles and tranquilizers.
Yes. All right, we're gonna have to wait for Burn to come back now, Squee.
Oh, okay, cool. I will take this opportunity to recheck my bonuses for rifles and stuff. It's been a while.
It has been.
Okay, I know once it was pointed out, it wasn't very viable, but come on, the image of the big guy just being lifted off and dropped would have been fun.
Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
welcome back.
Hello.
Hello there.
Man. If I'm able to just hit the witchling at least once or twice. Oh boy, the damage.
Maybe even 3 times after it's died, or 5.
But you know what's funny?
Tom, stop.
All right. Okay.
Alright.
Let's talk more going. So you've assembled everyone at the Morris. No, not Morris. Marlis. Marlis was the name I was thinking of. The elder fellow who's adventurer physician. Suffice to say, everyone has assembled in the cargo bay, where a lot of your belongings are actually stored that aren't personal effects that you keep in your own rooms. Call everyone together. What do you tell them?
We've gathered you here because we have found a caravan that seems to be of one of the foulest and malicious things I've come across in quite some time, comprised of beings that seem to derive joy from torture, active torture, mobile torture, things of magic, as well as some creatures that are new, and of course another encounter of a witchling.
At that word, Alicia's eyes light up with surprise. Her face then turned into a bit of a determined look. She opens her mouth to say something, but is preempted by Marlis Stodge, the narrow man with the gray hair, who's a recent arrival, one of Perrin's recommendations, as he says, "Well, knee-deep in the magic zone, it shouldn't be no surprise. Consider yourself fortunate to avoid such vile company. Glad you made it safe and all that." And Alicia waits for Marlis to finish speaking, and she looks directly at Patrick, and then to Al, and to Tom, and she says, "What do you guys intend to do about it?"
Well, here I am in my power armor, and he's gonna pat his chest. I'm gonna grab a couple of swords, maybe my gun. We're gonna go back and kick its teeth in.
Al nods and pats his power armor. You know, this was looking a little too shiny.
Yeah, at least, well, that's the plan. We saw horrific things going on, but we also saw several people who were still alive.
Still
And
alive? Asked Marlis. Still alive how?
impaled on
They
spikes.
were impaled on spikes and being tortured.
I see. he
As you
says
can
with a
imagine,
frown.
that seems to be very painful. So,
Alicia simply says, "Well, give me time to get my own armor and my own weapon, and I'm right there beside you."
sounds good to me.
I thought you might say that. Blink?
Blink gives a bit of a blink, a few sets of blink, and she gives a small nod. She says, "Yeah, of course, if you need my assistance, I'll help you out, although I hope you guys aren't planning on just running in. If these beings are as much of a threat as you're making them sound to be, some tactical planning is necessary. And I suggest an ambush, but I suppose we can always get into that stage once we all decide what we want to do about it.
Yeah.
But
Al
yeah, of
nods.
course I'm in."
He nods and he says, "We were already thinking along the same lines, but thank you."
Yeah.
I'd like to know who's with us and fighting techniques and tactics. We'd like to
Al would
utilize as
nod.
much as we can.
He'd look to parents people and he'd say, "You guys aren't obligated to do anything you don't want to do, and this will be dangerous. So if you stay here, we won't think anything of it, but we could probably use your help."
Zoe replies, she says, "Indeed, I believe the agreement that you made with Daniel was that we were to run our own operation utilizing your ship. We were to provide, he was going to provide a political and material alliance to you. To be honest, I'm never been much of a fighter, more of a manager and organizer and planner. So if you don't mind, I'm not going to stick my neck out. Not to say I'm not sympathetic, it's just I'm no soldier."
Understandable.
Marlis replies. He says, "Yes, I don't want to seem like the cowardly sort, but I am getting more advanced in years, and many of my adventurous days are behind me. Although I could whip up a few small poultices for you to take with you to assist you with, I'd like to stay behind these marvelous and fantastic walls, if you don't mind. If I'm given the choice, I'll take discretion this time around."
That is more than fine.
McLaughlin, who, by the way, actually does have a first name, Morgan McLaughlin, kind of scratches the back of his head and he says, "Jeez. Well, I'm not unfamiliar with combat, obviously, but was mostly, making sure everyone behaved themselves. There was a few small defensive skirmishes outside the post, and a couple of them were supernatural-like, but..." He gives a sigh. He looks around the Rhapsody. He looks at you guys, and he looks at Tom in his gleaming crystal armor, Patrick in his golden gleaming armor, the advanced power armor that you have stocked here, and he says, "Although I reckon you guys haven't gotten to this place, haven't had a goddamn flying spaceship if you didn't know what you were doing. What the hell? Sure, you need an extra gun and a pair of hands? I'm in too."
Sounds perfect. How are you with rifles?
The easiest damn things to shoot. Brace them against your shoulder, aim down the barrel.
I might lend you one of my rifles. There are a couple of beings that are weak to silver, and I will likely be in melee. So it might be better if you were to shoot them from afar.
Speaking of, since we are an alliance of at least material goods, we are looking for specific types of ammunition that we might need purchasing.
Eventually.
Zoe kind of gives a bit of a disappointed look, and she said, "We haven't gone back to Perrin's Post yet for the first round of inventory. We were supposed to do more of a meet and greet thing, kind of get a lay of the ship, get to know you, and reacquaint ourselves," as she looks over to the unfamiliar face of Tom and Al, and figure that sort of thing out. He's mentioned something about training on how to utilize areas of the ship. We don't have anything on here other than our personal effects.
Enough said.
Although, says Marlis, "If you gave me an hour or so, I'd be able to procure some alchemist silver for you. Less procure and more make from scratch. I have, amongst my personal effects, a few baubles that I could always melt down that don't have any sentimental value. Separate the silver from the iron and the other ores."
I'm sorry for my naivety, but I'm not sure what alchemist silver is.
It's silver, created by an alchemist. He kind of gives a darling smile. Suffice to say, it's very complicated as far as the equations go, but I assure you it works just as good as the stuff taken out from the ground.
I see.
Well,
I think that would be very appreciated.
yeah.
How would this be used to coat a weapon or as a grenade type?
Unfortunately, I wouldn't have enough time to coat an entire weapon unless I was given a good half day's worth of work for a quick for something that requires some expedience. Of course, I could coat your standard bullet, regardless of the caliber. I could coat probably a good solid 30 to 40 of them.
Oh, that would be useful.
Yes. The supernatural nasties tend to hate silver, sometimes wood, and if any of you are of the holy type, blessed weapons certainly tend to get them running for the hills.
So, Patrick, and of course anyone else that might have knowledge on this, from what we know right now, the only creatures that are immune to our weapons are the vulture-like ones.
And
Vulture-like?
And the fairies, the dark fairies with my fire.
The dark fairies are also immune? I see.
Not to conventional weapons, but just to fire and cold.
Oh, just to fire. Okay.
Yes, the young man is correct.
So we can hurt the fairies and the witchling with conventional weapons and save the bullets for those other things.
Yeah. And
by the sounds of it, it sounds like Lugaroos.
Yes,
they're
specifically
far away
Lugaroos.
From home. They're known. They're desert creatures.
Yes.
It seems like these 5 individuals are a part of something bigger. 6 individuals, sorry. They seem to be a part of like some kind of group because each of them have a symbol painted on them.
What
is... Yes.
Marlis
almost echoes those words with passion.
Shit. Just give me a second, and Tom's gonna run over to his room and try and
artist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Try and he'll bring back his tablet from space and try and recreate the symbol as best that he can.
Okay, roll me an art skill, no penalties.
All right. So that will be 70%. I got a 7.
When you draw the picture, Marlis mutters, "Oh my." Young man, you're absolutely correct in assuming there's something larger. Before I came across you, before Perrin promised me an adventure I wouldn't want to miss out on, and here I am. Well, let's not waste time on letting you know how I know this, and more specifically tell you exactly what that symbol is. That symbol is representative of a group called the Children of Doom, a cultish type of organization that has cropped up, that has coincided with these visions that many psionic sensitives have been getting about a devourer, about a swarm, about prophecies of doom that will swallow up the earth. The unsettledness that has swept a variety of communities. Are you aware of this?
We have been a little out of touch.
We know of the prophecy. We have a lot of information on the prophecy, in fact. Some from Plato himself, a lot from Tolkien. But we did not know about this group.
No, I don't suppose you would. I'd be very interested in comparing notes in regarding to this prophecy, but more to the point. The Children of Doom are known in academic circles as a blood cult, which means a cult that doesn't celebrate in mystic chanting or shared ritual, but in spilling and sacrificing blood. It was recently, within the past few weeks, driven from one of the seediest burbs around Chi-Town, the capital of the Coalition States, and it is comprised mostly of, not entirely, of these non-humanoid monstrous beings like Lugru and Black Fairy. Apparently, they have a leader that is a neuron beast, which is, well, quite a ghastly sight to behold. They are, well, many people identify this great threat as the Swarm. They call it the Devourer, the Great Devourer. They worship it. They're quite certain that they will be embraced by open arms by the Devourer when it comes, and to show their reverence to these beings, or whatever it might be that shows up, they are going to slaughter as many humans as they can. That is their modus operandi. Very simple, very barbaric, very cruel.
Joy.
Indeed. I do not know the name of their leader, or their goals, or their trajectories. These are just rumors that I had to filter out from rumors and propaganda. Of course, the Coalition would want to keep that shut. They would want to know a blood cult was rolling in their burbs, let alone the ones close to Chi-Town. But that place is filled with squalor. It's no surprise that a cult like this cropped up from it.
Yeah. I've
Quite
heard
a riot, too. Yes.
There was one thing that we couldn't identify. It was actually driving the truck that was carrying the bodies. Jim, could I give him a rough description?
Sure, of course. Yeah, give him a... He says, oh my. Well, I wish I could be more of assistance in regards to that. Although the spikes and the bodies in the back definitely imply that they are working on the Children of Doom's goals. I know nothing of the creature on top of it, nor the vehicle in which it drives. Apologies, any tales that have reached my ears before I got here in regards to the Children of Doom does not mention anything like that. I'm sorry.
Fair. That's fair enough. So, are you guys still down to try and take these guys out? He's gonna turn to the rest of the group.
He says, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Well, less talking, more planning. Let's go.
Okay, so...
Now, to be fair, I'm not having the NPCs make this plan. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
So, if you want to ask them for their expertise on their opinion on something, go ahead. But the planning is up to you guys. I hope you find that fair.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So first things first, we know most of the people that are coming with us.
Also, spoiler alert, August does not want to come with either.
I figured.
Al puts up the vibro blades he had for him.
He says, I don't believe there's a technological solution to this problem, so I will stay here.
Not shocked.
Wait,
so
didn't you make something of a... Was it something to shut down some technological... Out of character, didn't August actually have, like, something that actually shut something down? Like,
no, you have shutdown rounds that you got from Zacharias Gilson back in the day.
Could have
Yeah.
sworn he made something like
He was making something. He was going to make something to erase the memory banks of that
That's what it was.
cyborg. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yep. Anyways, back to your planning.
There's only one person here that we don't know their preferred fighting style, which we should probably ask him.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Body armor, rifle in his hand. He doesn't know how to operate power armor.
Okay.
At least not yet. But he's a decent shot.
Yeah.
And he knows his ways around explosives a bit too.
That could be handy. But that's why I was suggesting maybe let him use my gladiator armor because it has that multi-optic helmet, and just let him snipe with old one shot. Because I have 22 silver rounds, along with 7 spookifiers, 5 instanets, and 9 shutdowns.
You know, I also have 7.62 shutdowns, 10 of them, and my juicer rifle has quite a nice range on it.
What's the range?
I'm trying to see if the 7.62 has a different range. The actual rifle's range is 2,000 feet. I don't think it designates a different range for the 7.62.
No.
So yeah, 2,000 feet.
Well, see, here's the thing. The multi-optic helmet, the targeting sight on the multi-optic helmet, along with the infrared sights, the telescopic sights, the thermoimager, all of that stuff, only go up to 1,600 feet. And old one-shot's range is 1,600 feet.
I'm sorry, 4,000 feet range juicer rifle.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, do you have silver rounds for them?
Hang on, I'm looking now. Actually, but I even if I do, I think it would be better put to use taking down the ferries.
Well,
But let me see here. I have 15 silver bullets.
you mean the vultures, but yeah. Planking.
No, I meant I was thinking take laser shots at the ferries, but I can also take shots at the vultures.
Vultures don't take damage from.
Yeah,
Laser
that's why I
shots.
asked the silver.
That's why I said take.
Oh my
laser
God.
shots.
We're
You
getting
guys are
confused.
talking about the same thing.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
Let's continue on.
So, are
We're all
you
talking about the same thing in different ways.
what are you suggesting, Squee? Are you suggesting giving him the juicer rifle?
No.
The-
I was suggesting. What? Hang on.
Yeah, well, here, you know what? Let me give you guys a favor. Let me open up a whiteboard for you guys.
yes,
So
please.
if you want to draw something or something, I don't know if you can draw anything.
No, I was just going to say if we have because one of the things is we were talking about shutting down that vehicle. Patrick's shutdown rounds are shotguns, which means you'd have to get very close. I just realized looking at my list, I have 7.62 shutdowns that could be fired from a long range to
Understandable.
try and take down the vehicle.
Yes, problem. Those are for non-military things.
Yes.
And from the description of the vehicle, it might not have the most intricate insides, but it seems to have at least shielding and probably enough circuitry that a few shots probably won't do much. Maybe
Agreed.
make it go slower.
It might not be the best thing. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be my first opening shot, but there's no reason not to just launch one at it and maybe try and hit a weak point.
Okay.
Might not be bad if you can get an opening.
So,
Um,
okay. Oh, hey. There you go. So, I will likely want to be in melee, but I can be at around 1,200 feet. Because the Mystic Power Armor has 2 different types of ranged options. One is fire, one is lightning. So there is that. Are you guys okay with my suggestion to give this guy old one shot and my gladiator armor?
absolutely.
Yes.
I'd be fine also giving him a regular laser rifle too, because
He
we
has his
can't
own
guarantee-
rifle.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Because we can't guarantee what he's going to go up against. But yes, I'm all for it.
Okay.
My first thought would be attack from two sides. Have everyone who's not incredibly mobile in a strong defensive position, and everyone who is mobile on the other side, so that if things get bad, they can move to the first group.
Okay.
And then try and draw them in two different directions.
So you're saying you want the non-mobile somewhere around here. Let's just say. You want the mobile somewhere around here?
Right.
Okay.
Because here's my thinking. If they take the bait and split the party, great. If they don't take the bait and go all towards the non-mobile group, then the mobile group can just move there and help them.
Yeah.
If everyone attacks the mobile group, then the mobile group can just reconverge with the big group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Essentially, we're trying to do a pincer attack.
Exactly, but we're trying... Yeah, exactly, except it's almost a reverse. We're trying to draw them out to us, but yes.
Okay. So, who would count for the mobile group and the non-mobile group? I think that the guy Matthias, I think his name is, right?
McLaughlin?
McLaughlin,
there
yeah.
you go.
So, McLaughlin would be in the non-mobile group.
Right. I think McLaughlin, Patrick, probably Alicia, and Bear. And the mobile group would have to be probably people.
So I'm
in power
assuming
armor.
you're putting Blink in power armor. What power armor are you going to put her into?
She has her own Samson.
Okay.
Simpsons are pretty big, noisy, and noticeable. Just gonna
And
throw
beefy.
that out there.
We could possibly put her in Mila's terrain hopper, if you guys want.
I'd honestly be better, or feel it's better to put her in the Samson and just keep her a decent distance back. Because the idea is, if we're setting up an ambush, we should be setting this up out of their hearing shot, and then just have her stay low and stay still until things get crazy. Because we could certainly use the firepower of a Samson.
Yep. Okay. So Bear would probably be in non-mobile. Alicia, body armor probably be in non-mobile. Blink would probably be somewhere else around here, a little far ways back in the Samson. So that would mean that the mobile would be basically just me and Al, right?
Right, unless someone has the if someone has like a hover cycle skill, they can take my iron side.
Not I.
No, I don't think McLaughlin would.
Mm.
Nope.
All right, then yeah. But still, if you think about it, we're less numbers. There's 3 of us, but we are in power armor. So I still
who's the
think that'd
third?
be a fairly even division. You, me, and Blink.
You said you wanted Blink like back farther a ways.
No, like I meant like 20, 30 feet hidden somewhere, so that when we fire the first shot, she can jump in. Within.
So she would be in
action
the mobile.
Exactly, in the mobile
Okay.
group.
So it's basically power armor, non-power armor.
That's the
Yeah,
gist.
pretty much.
Okay.
So
Making a token for McLaughlin.
Cool.
before we go into battle, as I wanted to say before, make sure that we all have a target to focus on
Yes.
at the beginning, and also make sure that we pick a firing order of which ones to take down, as well as to make sure that we have weapons for each target, or at least plans for each target.
Okay.
Now, because it has been a while. If we're in fully enclosed power/body armor, we can speak softly and still communicate over the radio, right?
Sure. You can whisper over a radio.
I'm not going to be able to do that
Why?
because the Mystic
the
Power
Mystic-
Armor doesn't have a radio built in. I have to use an
Correct.
actual radio. like
Okay.
walkie-talkie.
Then stick with me or Blink, and then
Mhm.
that'll work. And then, of course, if you get separated from us, things will probably have hit the fan so hard that you won't have to worry too much about stealth anymore.
Yeah, that's true. So I think the order should be this. Both teams should focus on the birds first. Whether you want to assign one team to a bird and the other team to a different bird is up to you guys, but we need to get their air support out, done, period. First.
A lot of them have air. There's which.
They literally all can fly except for the guy in the truck.
Yeah.
Well, then... I mean, I just want to punch the witchling. So,
My thoughts would be this: since they all can fly, we get the maximum range we think is safe that we can see them and still hit them, and then take as many shots as we can before they get to us, and hope that whittles them down.
all right.
And then maybe
focus fire.
And then yeah, definitely. Everyone focus on one at a time, then move on to the next target. Hope it takes a few of them before they get to us. Maybe set up some sort of traps if we can think of something.
Trying to get in front of them might be really hard because we're spending a lot of time and we got back to the ship and all that.
Well, this thing can go relatively fast. And 5 miles an hour. Every once in a while, brief pauses to have their laugh session.
Yeah.
It's not your traditional laugh session. It's more of a, hey, look, let's torture this fucker. Isn't this great? Ha ha ha.
It's required by the union.
So,
yeah, I mean, I don't think getting ahead of them would be too hard. It would just be there would be a small risk that they change course or something, but I would think it's acceptable risk.
I think we're enough of a mobile group that we could probably move ahead of them and get into position before. And if they veer off in some other direction, I think we can probably adapt. I think we have a good amount of range and mobility.
I mean, if we're worried about it, honestly, we do have a very quiet power armor that can go invisible and trail them from above.
yeah, me.
Yeah,
That's
stealth power armor.
That would be really neat, especially for maybe a surprise attack.
Yeah. But it's not completely invisible. Don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple invisibility, right?
No, it's chameleon.
No, it's chameleon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, that does not work then.
Well,
Yeah, if you move, they'll see the shimmer.
Yeah.
Wait, then how did we capture that die-in? I was totally invisible for that.
Because you
I
used
think you probably
invisibility.
Because you cast invisibility.
Yeah, you cast invisibility on
right.
yourself.
My bad.
Jeez Louise.
It was a long time ago. So not that won't work. So
No.
but I'm still with Piph on that. I think that we could fairly easily get ahead of it.
Well,
lay down traps, maybe not, but ambush probably.
Yeah,
okay. So do we want to be long range or close range?
long range.
Okay.
Definitely, I think, because this is going to get close range no matter what, unless we get
Now-
really good shots.
Now, assuming you guys can get to them before they dense in the woods, your maximum range for visibility is probably 1,200 feet. Patrick was having some hard times seeing and identifying targets at 1,000. Anything beyond 1,200, being in those woods, and getting consultant from Bear. 1,200 is probably your max if you want to be in the woods and fire. Now, if you want to be above the tree line, you might have a better range by maybe about another 300 feet, bringing it up to 15.
All right.
But 2,000 feet, 4,000 feet, that's a long distance, and there's a lot of trees that get in the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, 4,000 feet is
Definitely.
also a mile. Ugh.
Well, so the first step
Yeah.
would be step one would be once we get out there, scout the terrain, find the ambush site. We want something that's advantageous to us, i.e., something that gives us the best killing ground.
Well, the first thing we're going to have to do is try and sneak around them to get in front of them.
Yes.
Then we scout an ambush site.
So the ideal ambush site would be open ground between us and them and cover where we are. That's the ideal. Failing the cover where we are, at least as much open ground as we can so that we have as clear shots on them as possible.
Well, Patrick could definitely give you like an approximation, but since this seems like a fairly jovial, not quite sure what their motivations are, they can easily change speed or divert a direction.
Yeah. So let's say this is them. Pardon my shitty drawing, but anyways, and they're coming down this way. We're basically going to have to go from the ship around far enough so that they don't hear, get to our sites, scout out a good place, all the while they're still moving, and then strike. That's the plan?
Yeah.
And as soon as we can see them, we start firing.
No. Well, yeah. I mean,
well, we want to start it in range, so we have to see we have to start striking when we see them. Otherwise, we allow them to get so close that it won't be so ranged.
Well, but my thinking is those two groups are too close together. The idea that I had would be that each group is fairly far away from each other to A, draw them in different directions, and B, draw them far enough away that their big guy can't give them support.
So you're talking something like this?
More like that, yeah. And then we wait until they're right between us so that they're getting hit from two completely separate directions. It might cause more confusion.
Okay.
So my question is, if the convoy is going, assuming it's just staying at 5 miles per hour, and this is something that McLaughlin would bring up, for us who are on foot, how are we going to get past them? I mean, we can run, we can hoof it, but it won't be very quiet.
Yeah.
We would have to take a long circle around with vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And at high speeds, too.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's 1, 2, 3.
Well,
4.
What if we did this? What if we did a flyby as high as we felt we could still see them, and just fly by them fast with the ship? If anything, they would be, wow, look at that strange thing in the sky, and then they would see nothing. I don't think it would alert them to an ambush in front of them. And we'd have exact
Bear shakes his head and he says, I would assume they would have never seen a ship before. They would be on some form of alert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's that or risk trying to move around them.
Are you open for an NPC saying something?
Please do.
Absolutely.
Bear will say, well, when you hunt prey with a known migratory pattern, deer, for example, during a particular seasons in which they reproduce, you can judge the trajectory of where they're going to go. And the good hunters wait, sometimes even for days. That is not necessary, but I know Patrick is very good with calculations. Would it not be possible for him to calculate their known trajectory, giving us plenty of time, hours in advance even, to set up this ambush?
All eyes turn to Patrick.
You would need to know some variables that scouting would be. Someone would need to scout in order to get these variables for you. And hell, if you could use your laser distance or two, that'd be fantastic. Although you could probably use that on trails that they already made. You don't have to like zap the big guy in the face being like, this is the direction, right? But okay, suffice to say, I love saying that phrase apparently, is you just need to collect some data in the field. And sure, of course that's possible.
Okay, so we land behind them, get as much information as we need, scout them out, then get in the ship, go up, beyond detection range, get ahead of them, and set up an ambush where Patrick predicts they will be, and then wait a few hours.
Something like that. Transportation is going to probably be something that's going to be questionable. Of course, putting down our ship, we're going to have to find a place to settle down, which is a
That
little
doesn't
hard
crunch
to
a
do.
lot of trees
Right.
and have everyone for miles around here.
Absolutely that. So that's why he suggested, and I suggested, taking vehicles and taking like a kind of a bow around where we think they're going to be moving. And heck, if we're even if we were mile out, would probably be in easy enough distance to not really have any visuals at all. And sound would probably, I have to know a little bit more about the sound, but I'm assuming that it would probably not be too much.
But you need to be a pretty high decibel level for it to carry through a mile of light wood.
Mm-hmm. And of course, over its own machine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, that thing was not quiet at all.
So yeah, taking a rounded path around it at a fairly high speed, we could probably catch up to it. We 60 miles an hour is 8 times its speed.
True. I'm not sure if we could reach that. If all of us could reach that.
12
before,
times.
12. That's 12 times speed.
Yeah, your point is very valid. So, okay, so all right then. Is there any problems anyone sees? Well, any not acceptable risks that anyone sees with the reverse pincer attack?
Blank shakes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to throw Blank in. Not that she'd give advice, but she would just simply say, "Double pincer makes sense."
Patrick would nod. If we would want more range, we can always use the wooded area that it knocks down. Having a position that might be farther back in these areas might be better.
Blink does suggest if you really want to divide and conquer, you could always try attacking them from all sides, coming up from behind and in front of them as well. That would really split them up. We do have more numbers than they do. But that's
true.
my only other suggestion.
It is
Otherwise,
true.
the tactics are sound.
The risks with that would be that we would be divided even more, and we would not be able to focus fire, as Patrick said. If we're in two groups that, like, if you, me, and Tom all concentrate on one target till it's down, we might be able to down one or two of them before they even get to us.
Blink nods. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, what of our targets?
Well, we won't know
one
that
thing at
until
a time, Tom, she says with a small smile. We need to figure out how we're all getting into this position. Have we agreed using light vehicles in order to get to an ambush position?
I think so.
It's fine with me. I mean, it would be probably Patrick in his ATV trying to do this.
I would have power armor. So would you, Tom, and Al. And the ATV can handle the bear and Patrick and Alicia and Morgan here.
In fact, Alicia, wait, do we still have any big weapons for the ATV?
Yes. We
Mhm.
still have the turret, I believe.
Yep. You're skilled
Yeah,
at
you do.
that. Unless you got a bigger weapon. He looks at
She
Alicia and
shrugs.
raises an eyebrow.
She says impatiently, "Just anything. Give me anything in my fucking hands."
Right. All right. Well, let's do this.
Okay. Um. Do you want? Do we want to identify targets once we get to the ground, or do we want to? Since we know what the enemy is already, Blink asks. Do we want to determine already?
We can set up a general game plan and adapt as necessary, but
What do we
I agree with Tom's assessment that the hardest things to take down right now will be the ones that are only vulnerable to silver.
Second suggestion,
Hmm?
I would assume that we might want to. I heard a few things about being in close range combat. Why not use our damaging to us weapons first, and then when melee comes, we might be able to use our not as lethal to us weapons while melee still happens, unless you do not want to engage until all others are down.
No, that is a smart move. My thought is this. Silver bullets are going to be slow to fire. Tom's gun is, I believe, single load.
Yep, it is a single shot.
So is my 7.62. It's bolt action, which means that if we want to take as many of them down before they get to us, it would be best to focus fire on the witchling and the fairies. Take them down first. Deal with the. He'll look to the magic guy. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the name you called them.
The magic guy, I mean Marlis Stotch?
Yeah, yes, Marlis.
Yeah.
And
Luguru.
Luguru?
Yes.
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 Luguru, deal with them last. They may be nasty up close, but I doubt they'll be much nastier than a witchling or fairies.
You'd be surprised how nasty those creatures can be. Carry men's off, screaming, pecking their eyes out.
Al nods and he says, but taking down as many numbers as we can before they get to us is our best strategy. And the best way to do that is to take down the ones that we can put the most damage on the fastest.
Right, of course. You're the ones who are going into the jaws of the beast, so to speak. So the question is, you seem all very eager to go and are worried about losing your quarry. Do you require me to create this alchemist silver for you, or are you going to carry on without it?
Well, let's see. I have 15 rounds of 7.62 silver bullets. I have one of my silver vibro knives left, and I have a neural knife, and I have the black light blades, which are magical. How many silver bullets do we have in total? Because we might not need the alchemist.
I have 22.
Silver.
I have 0.
What kind of weapon do you use, Patrick?
It would be a hunting rifle.
So yeah. Wait, unless that
30
uses
6
7.
probably. No, it probably uses 30-6.
Yeah, so we probably would need that. Yes.
If it's 30-6, I can just give you half, because that's what old one shot uses, 30-6. So that would be 11 for you and 11 for Morgan.
Okay.
Morris will say, "Oh, very well. I didn't realize you were all crack shots. If you think that's sufficient, then don't let me tell you otherwise."
Well, we also have magic, so I mean, that's a thing too.
He's saying we have some backup.
Yeah, we have some backup.
But
well, how long would it take you to make the alchemist silver?
An hour. Coating it shouldn't take very long at all.
They're only moving at 5 miles an hour. And it would take us time to scout anyway. Well, I think it might be worth waiting an hour. No?
I can't speak for the other
Yeah.
two characters.
Yeah. It would be worth it to have a backup for my shotgun.
All right. Then yes, please, by all means, and we'll start getting ready
Well,
while you do that.
Then I'll get to work right away. As Marlis Stotch heads over to the behemoth and
Is
boards
there
it.
any way any of us could help you? I do have some knowledge of chemistry.
Oh no, I'm afraid I do dabble. Although I'm sure we'll be able to exchange a lot of medical know-how there, my good man. I'm specifically an alchemist. I've been studied alchemy, and that is beyond traditional chemistry. I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to assist very much, other than holding my beakers, and there's no need for that either.
I understand.
Besides, have you ever heard of the saying, too many cooks spoil the broth?
I haven't, but it seems like a saying that makes sense.
Yes. Well then, my brave friends, I'll be back shortly. And he disappears into the behemoth.
All right, so now it's time to gear up for not talking to people.
What?
What?
We're going to be shooting at them instead.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Anyway, all right. Let's speed things along here because I don't want to be here forever. Okay. So, weapons and armor. I'm gonna let you use your discretion. You guys aren't gonna be. You guys aren't gonna cheese it. So whatever. So, help me out here because you guys have been doing a lot of talking about things that you want to do and all this other stuff. So, plan one is to scout them out a little bit to figure out that they're still there and they're still heading in that direction and at that speed? Is that step one of this plan, or are you just going to go where they were last and go from there?
Well, that's a question, Patrick. Would you need to get eyes on them, or could you use,
No, patterns would be enough.
Okay, so let's go back to where they were, and then we could maybe follow that track for half a mile or so that we get a good pattern.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming you'll disembark the Rhapsody probably on like the ATV or something like that, on the same plateau, so you can follow back where you were before.
Yeah, that would
okay.
make
All right.
sense.
Okay, so we're gonna do that real quick because there's no immediate danger of being attacked by these guys because you've talked for a while and it's gonna be a 10-minute journey in the ATV. So you're able to get back to the site. Sure enough, the distinct marks are there. You follow it for a half mile. You don't hear any rumblings in the distance, so you know you haven't gotten too close. Patrick, roll me an advanced mathematics check. Make it harder by 5.
Okay. This is the right page. Good. Harder by 5. Yeah.
Right on the money. Okay. So you do some quick field calculations, and it's not as precise as you'd like it to be. And what appears to be what's happening, if what's really messing things up is that the little rivets on the kind of rollers on this machine, they're not evenly spaced. If they were evenly spaced, it'd be so much easier to figure out exactly how many feet per second this thing is going. Because they're not, you have to use some reference points and yada, yada, yada. It's a little bit trickier. Although, you can say that they do go between 3 and 7 miles per hour with an average of about 5. They seem to be going at a constant pace, and they don't seem to pause much at all. Maybe once every, you're estimating maybe once an hour or so. So they also seem to be following the road for a while. You don't know exactly what direction you're heading. You know this road does run roughly west to east. So they're definitely heading in the easterly direction. And this road, you do know from being up high in the Rhapsody, you do know this road does continue east for at least another 50 miles in one iteration of the road or other, right? Sometimes it's just dirt. Sometimes it's just, some marks on the ground, but you do know this path goes on for quite some time. So you should have enough time to catch up to them, no problem, even after an hour. So yeah, you're able to pinpoint a spot in which you'd be able to get to them and have 30 minutes to set up.
Okay.
Now, Patrick could do an area where you have an hour to set up, but that's when his calculations start to get kind of iffy. That's when the known discern path starts to go, and they really might change direction then. So you have two choices. Safer bet with 30 minutes to set up, or chancier bet that they're actually going to show up right where they're supposed to, and have an hour to set up.
Patrick would inherently not trust his own calculations.
Okay. And these calculations are also assuming people are disembarking from this plateau, from where the Rhapsody is parked right now, and the average speed of your vehicles and the ATV and everything like that. And keeping enough space so you're not within visual or auditory contact for at least what humans can hear. And if you guys want a chance, the problem is that you guys don't know the lay of the land perfectly. If you want to try to chance it so the Rhapsody flies ahead and tries to find a place to locale, that's a risk, right? Because you might not find anything nearby. The plateau is a known factor. So once again, you could get a better, you might have the potential for a better position, but you'd have to take a chance into going into the unknown. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good.
Better to work with what we have than to hope on what we don't.
Yeah, okay. If that's the philosophy of you guys, so be it. Okay. So you got that figured out. Alchemist Silver is prepared. So what bullets are being coated with it?
I would need a...
You'll have enough for 35.
I would either need a slug or a...
30-06?
Shotgun.
Shotgun. That would be birdshot, buckshot, or slug.
We're going to say slugs only.
Right. So...
35 slugs? Okay. Boom. That's done. Blink is in the Samson. Alicia is in her body armor. I think I'm going to put her in her network body armor. No, wait. You guys sold all the networks. No, you didn't.
Actually,
you didn't
no.
Sell
I still have my heavy network if she wants to use it.
She has her own set of heavy. She's going in that. And she has, of course, her backup triax explodey bullet rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the cannon on the railgun on the ATV. Mm-hmm. McLaughlin has old one-shot.
Yes.
And your gladiator armor.
Yes. I will toss you the specs for that soon.
Okay. Bear's in his usual light armor. And that's it for the NPCs. So, you know what? Let's get the show on the road if this is fine by you guys.
Mhm.
All right.
Oh, very important thing I wanted to note way back when. Patrick is going to be opting to give our new friend um, uh, his or the party's. There's a particular circlet for mind control. No, that's possession. Never mind.
Okay. All right. So, um, let's first have you guys roll me. Anyone? Roll me D1. Anyone roll me a D100, please.
Doing it. 64.
Okay. So you loop around. You follow Patrick's instructions, and the power armor and the vehicles course through the woods, the light woods, following following parallel to the road that you know. Of course, you're not in any visual contact, and only from time to time, in brief moments, do you hear the crunching and the engine sounds off in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to get into your locations. So, for the sake of our visual reference, what is it? Al, Blink, Tom over here. Oh, whatever. And Patrick, Alicia, Bear, and McLaughlin over here, right?
Basically, yeah.
All right. Now, distances. I want to know how far away you guys are going to be. Remember, anything beyond 1,200 feet, you're going to have a real hard time finding. Even at 1,200 feet, some of your targets might have partial cover some of the time, depending on the situation, of course.
I will say 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 seems good.
Okay.
That should give us 1 or 2 or 3 shots, maybe.
All right. Patrick?
I will most likely be at 1,000.
Okay, so you guys are going to be setting up 1,000 feet away from the road. All right. So, "25 minutes pass as you all wait, ready. You can tell Alicia herself, Patrick, she's like checking and double checking the ammo continuously. Very nervous, very agitated, very eager. Bear is his normal, calm, stoic self, who has concealed himself once again very expertly in the shrubbery. In fact, if you didn't know exactly where he disappeared into, you would have thought he was away from the area. McLaughlin himself seems nervous, but is wise enough not to start up any sort of small talk in the hopes of giving away his position. He's found himself a small clutch of stones and has used the time to kind of dig himself a basic, simple mound that he can use as a makeshift trench and a place to steady his rifle. On the other side, Blink herself, after double checking with Al and Tom to make sure the distances are correct and that radio communication amongst the group itself is working without any interference, she maintains radio and vocal silence as well. And as you all wait in position, waiting, you once again hear the rumble, the shattering of twigs and wood, soon to be followed by weak, pathetic moans and wails, echoing the beginning of this sickening caravan. The layout is very similar as before, except one small change. before 2 of the vulture-like Lugaroos were flying in front of the vehicles, approximately 150 feet ahead of the wagon of death. Now, one flies approximately 100 feet in front of the wagon, and one flies 100 feet or so behind the wagon. Give me a moment. Luck seems to strike slightly. As just when you get within visual contact of the wagon itself, it stops again. The witchling, the amorphous blob on top of the wagon itself, seemed to have a small conversation lasting about 20 seconds, while one of the black fairies on the left side of the truck begins to poke and prod at a recently deceased individual who died on one of the spikes. They are distracted enough. If you choose to strike now, you'll have an ambush bonus, which means you automatically win initiative.
Well, I do believe that the iron is hot. I think it's time to strike.
Okay, so then I've pre-rolled initiatives for all the bad guys. Like I said, gotta save us a little bit of time here, right? So if you automatically win an initiative, then I'm gonna just put everyone up at the top. Now remember, you can't do all your actions at once, but we're gonna just do it like this. Patrick and Al. And because the player characters are the player characters, I'm gonna let... Oh, come on. Oh my goodness, just drag upwards, you stupid thing. Okay, it's not working for some reason.
I got it.
Maybe, or were 2 people trying to do it at once? Is that what's going on?
No,
Nope.
I don't think so. But I got him. It's cool.
Except that's
Oh,
not where I want it. I want it at the top. I figured it out.
oh, okay, cool.
Because you won initiative, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You all have initiatives of 21 practically.
The highest I've ever had.
Oh, actually, sorry, I'll have to be 23s because
Even
one of them
better.
rolled a 22.
Mhm.
Okay, let's calm down, Squee. All right, let's go ahead and sort. Sort range. What is that, column D?
Yeah.
By Z to A. There we go. Look at me. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. All right. What are we doing here? All right. So, fun with fucking around with initiatives, eh? Okay, Al, Tom, Patrick. Is that okay if we do it in that order?
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Al, start us off.
Okay.
Oh, here. I was going to use just a descriptive thing, but we're kind of using this very... Actually, no, we know where everyone is at this point, and we're not going to be moving tokens around. We're going to be using our, theater of the mind. So let's go back to here, and at the bottom, I have your targets here. So give me a moment as I switch to my layer. There you go.
Ooh, I see.
So red, blue, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So I want to go for the fairies first. And is it fair to say that we would have said, like, to Tom and Blink, like, fire at whatever I fire at first?
You had a half hour to plan, yes.
Okay. So considering they're all about the same range, Al would just pick which of the fairies is more open. If they're all both open, he's just going to go for the red one, and he's going to go for. I don't think he can see an eye even from here, even with his skills.
You know what? On your side, actually, the one that's a lot more open is the one that's on your side of the truck, which happens to be the one that is toward poking and prodding at that apparently deceased human.
Okay, so he's going to be not turned directly towards me, so I'm just going to go for a headshot.
Okay. So, if you may recall, hitting the head is a -6.
Correct. So then I only have
There's
a plus
2
4.
heads. So left head or right head?
I'm going to go with the right head.
Okay.
So I have a +4 and I need to get above 12. I rolled a 1.
Okay. Shot goes out and it misses, actually hitting the hopefully deceased human being in the torso. The laser shot eviscerating and vaporizing their torso as it explodes. Thankfully, everyone is attacking at the same time, so they aren't immediately put into alert. Tom, your turn.
All right. I will use Call Lightning, which is one of the abilities of the Mystic Power Armor, at
Okay,
the
what's
same
the range
target.
on that?
That is 1,200 feet.
Okay. Same target? All right.
Yes.
That one doesn't require a roll to hit, does it?
I think it still does, but it's at a +4.
Okay.
Just like my normal stuff.
All right, then roll it.
9!
That is a miss.
Yeah.
It's over 50 feet, that's for sure, so it's considered long range. So that's miss for Tom, too. The bolt of lightning sizzles upon the ground nearby, kicking up a bunch of gravel. Patrick.
The ones that they're attacking, can I even see that one on our side?
No, you can't really, no, because it's at the level of the truck, because it's taunting the dead thing, so the truck is kind of blocking your line of sight from it.
All right. Is the blue one inside?
Oh, yes.
All right, that one. Oh boy. Yes. Patrick will be using his chemical laser rifle. It's pretty fun. I like it. And this thing is 5. Okay. Roll 5.
Okay, that's a hit to its main body. Go ahead and roll damage. It cannot dodge. Okay, 12 points of damage. Great. Wonderful. Alicia. I'm having her roll a special roll. She fires at the witchling.
Well, poor Alicia.
Hitting it, though.
Nice.
I believe the railgun is 1d4 times 10.
I believe so.
Yeah, it wasn't one of the heavier ones, so.
All right. Brap of that railgun fires through the woods, striking the witchling in the shoulder, tearing up the clothes underneath. Bear, you guys don't know what Bear is doing. What he's doing is not clear. Blink, in the hopes of not killing any of the injured humans in the blast, also fires on the fairy, as was agreed upon, although she is using the Samson's railgun in order to do so. It's a burst shot. Using her power armor bonus, she's going to get a plus... Oh, she's equal to Alicia. She gets a +5 on that.
Oh!
Critically hitting it.
What is it with the female NPCs of our group being badass?
I don't know. It's just coincidence, I'm sure.
Not that Austin isn't nice.
Austin?
August. Sorry.
Samson. That's also its weapon is also 1d4 times 10 too, right? You guys
Yes.
don't know.
No, the Samson's 1d6 times 10. It's what I used to use all the time.
Samson or Samus? Give me a moment.
The Samus, sorry. No, not
You don't
Samus.
have a
The
Samus.
Samson. She has the same thing I used to have, right? The Samson,
Yeah.
the Northern Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Northern
Yeah,
gun
that's
one.
1d6 times 10.
Confirming. Come on. Yep. $60 damage. Wow.
Damn.
To that red one. All right.
Making up for both our misses.
Mm-hmm. All right. McLaughlin's firing old one shot. He's also going to be firing at the fairy too. What did you load in? I'm assuming you put in a silver bullet.
Yeah.
In the okay, great. So he's going to do a aimed single shot. He's going to try to plank it in one of its wings. Okay, so its wing is going to be a -4. So McLaughlin is going to only have a +2 to hit. And he misses, unfortunately. And he even misses the main body, too.
Damn. Were you taking into account the multi-optic helm?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. There is a surprise sound as your ambush fires off. The black fairies, I'm going to just kind of describe all what they do. The black fairies begin to chant this small intonation, and they disappear from sight. The Lugaroos disappear from sight. The Witchling disappears from sight. The big blob on top of the death truck utters 2 words. Songek, Long Reaper. And you hear a rev of the engines as his eyes peer around. Although you see a small blue flash of his eyes as the Long Reaper, the truck itself, begins to turn around and face towards Patrick and Alicia's ATV. But it's spending its turn turning around, pretty much, kicking up gravel as he does so. All right, Al.
Al's gonna say over the comms, everyone who can switch to thermals, and he's going to, even though we said this might not work, he's gonna take a shot with his one knockout round in the 7.62 chamber. Is there anything I can take, like an aim shot, to see if maybe there's a weakness somewhere or something where I might be able to get the bullet in the outer, or sorry, through the inner part or something?
That's a fair result to this. Thing is that's covered in black paint and blood and people and spikes. But it's not... Okay. There's an area, a small area, maybe about an inch and a half. A gap in between where the bed meets the truck itself. If you get a bullet to ricochet around in there, it probably would hit internals. It's going to be similar to an eye shot, -9 called shot.
All right, got it. So I'm at least get a +1 to that. Got to get over a 12. Al's gonna calm down, breathe out, and at the pause, he's gonna fire and get a 19.
Yep. The bullet whizzes out through the air, nicking a few leaves as it hits its mark, getting right in between that narrow gap. And you can, well, you can't really hear, but it pings around in there. And the engine begins to sputter. That's your shot. Tom.
Okay, I would like to activate See the Invisible.
Okay, what's the range on that?
The character can see the forces. It's just to me.
Is there no range in the description?
Let me check.
Go to See the Invisible and check out the range. It's important. I mean, there's got to be consequences, either positive or negative, for you guys being 1,000 feet away, right?
Yeah, that is true. It doesn't say any range. It's just the character can see forces.
I'm assuming
objects.
it's just your fight. It's your sight. Okay.
Yeah.
So within your sight range, Tom, you can see 2 Lugaroos and the Black Fairy are heading towards your direction. They're about 800 feet away, and they are moving quick.
Okay. Then I will spend my turn telling my compatriots this.
Okay. And that's that. Patrick.
Patrick, startled by this, but not completely, he mutters to himself about, didn't think it would be this soon, as he then slips on goggles way back when. A 3-eyed see invisible goggles.
Okay. So now, to be fair, Piph, I'm going to say obviously you have them on you, right? But you'll probably have to take some time to take them out and put them on your head. They would fit over top. Okay, here's the thing, Patrick. Right. I don't think you'd have to take off your helmet in order to see them. In order to have the goggles on. Here's the thing. No, this is what's going to happen. You have to get your goggles, take off your helmet, put on the goggles, and then put on your helmet. Right? That seems like a fair set of steps.
Okay.
Yeah? So you'll still be able to look through the goggles and have, something protecting your freaking squishy head?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that to me is, you do it really quick. That takes about 8 seconds. So that's about 2 actions of yours. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay. Then you do. And Patrick, you can see a witchling, a black fairy, heading your direction. The witchling is only about 900 feet away. The black fairy is 850 feet away. Okie dokie.
Yes.
Alicia yells, "Fuck! I don't have thermals," over the radio. As she yells to McLaughlin, "Just spot me." No one knows what Bear's doing. Bear is
sneaky.
Bear is fighting how Bear sneaks. I mean, he has partial armor on, right? He is fighting the way he likes to fight. Blink switches to thermals. Oh, wait. Samson doesn't have thermal vision. Wait, I have the page open. Let's double check. Sensors. Power armor. Targeting computer, laser targeting system. Nope. She doesn't have thermals either.
Well, Patrick's scrounging for his helmet, and, like taking it off and putting on his goggles, ruffling his hair. There's a camera in my bag. You can see invisible. Last time that should be the last lens in it.
Okay. The Blank will. I'm sorry. Alicia will say, "Got it," and she'll actually. We'll do as a paired action. She's going to spend another action to root around for the camera. Blink, on the other hand, says, "Should I change targets? Hit what I can see? That big fucker on the truck?" You guys
Not
can give
many
me a quick
options.
affirmative or a negative.
Yeah, affirmative. Not many other options. So yeah.
Do it.
And I'll have to give her an extra action in order to get the response, the call and response back. But she fires another. Whoop. Hello. She fires another shot over at the big guy this time. See, interestingly enough, technically the big guy and the truck are one unit, but they're both so big, they're, for the sake of burst shots, they're considered individuals. So let's see how she does. She hits him, doing 30 points of damage. Another shot of rails come up, and they hit him on the side, on the flank, and it makes pock marks on his skin. But interestingly enough, they're not bleeding just yet. McLaughlin switches to thermos, and you hear him on the radio say, "Roger, continuing to fire on primary target," as he takes another shot at the wings of the Black Fairy. He's a +2. Oh, and he hits it. All right, McLaughlin. Let's see how much damage you can do. A single shot pierces the wings of the Black Fairy, causing substantial damage to it, slowing its speed already. That Black Fairy, in fact... Wait, gotta quickly check a range on something. Oh, you guys are clever going this far out. It actually spends the rest of this time trying to close the distance. Although it's not stupid. It's going to keep one to do a dodge if it needs to. Both Lugaroos, however, on the other hand, continue... you do hear a horrible screeching sound in your ears, everyone, frankly, as the Lugaroos move closer and begin to dive towards Al and Tom's group. Of course, only Tom can see them right now, but they are... They're going to do something very similar to the Black Fairies, which is they have to get within range, so to speak, and so they have to burn the rest of their turn in order to get there. So they're just continuing to streak through the sky towards you guys.
I do remember as a player looking at spells, and I go, man, these things are such short distances compared to my guns that can go 2,000, 3,000 feet.
But on the plus side, they can turn invisible at will, so it makes closing in the distance a little bit easier.
Yep,
right?
Pretty much.
So the big guy on the truck itself actually spends his turn fighting at the controls, and he just keeps saying, "Long Reaper," and he starts bashing on the top, "Long Reaper," as the vehicle surges ahead a whole 3 feet before the engine completely dies down. You've effectively knocked out
Hooray!
Oh man.
the Crusher.
Poor
The
It makes me feel
Crusher.
so much better. It makes me feel so much better from that one I rolled at the start.
All right. As for the Witchling, she too begins to try to close the distance, although she is overconfident and is using all of her turns. The Black Fairy, similarly, is doing as its cousin, a little bit more intelligent. Okay, Al, your turn.
All right, Al's gonna switch over to thermal, and take another shot at that black fairy that's coming towards him.
Okay. With the thermals, now I'm gonna be a little tricky on this one. You can take a shot at the main body, no problem, and the extremities, no big deal. The thermal imaging doesn't give you, like, you kind of know where the eyes are, but it's a little bit tougher. So it's actually going to be a -10, since seeing an eye in thermal imaging is not as easy as seeing an eye in, say, a regular vision. Make sense?
Yes, it definitely does. What about
Okay.
going for just the head itself?
Yeah, the head itself is distinct. No additional modifiers.
Okay. He's gonna go for the head again, then the same one, left head, or
Okay.
I don't know if I went
Right
for the
head,
right
you
left
said
side, but
before.
left this time,
Mhm.
whatever the case may
Okay.
be. All right. So, I had an 8.
It's a miss.
That's a miss.
Pew, fires off to one side of its head. All right. Tom.
All right. So, how far away are these guys?
Now, because they're closing the distance, they're all approximately 500 feet, give or take 30 feet, spacing themselves up amongst each other.
Okay. 500.
The Lugaroos are definitely further ahead than the Black Fairy.
Okay. Then I will switch targets. I will try and use Call Lightning on this Lugaroo.
Which one? The yellow one or the green one?
The yellow one.
Okay.
So, let's see if I hit. 12.
You do.
All right.
Roll damage.
19.
So, were you just going for the body?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You strike it. Sorry, since it's only, I want to kind of go to bed in a half hour, I'm going to kind of dole down on the descriptions, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's
See if we
completely
can't
cool.
just chug things along a little bit faster. All right, Patrick.
Okay. Now with sight, we'll do a similar shot from the last one.
Okay.
Um,
Which was, remind me, you're going for the Black Fairy, right?
Black Fairy body shot.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay.
That's our blue one. Okay, yeah, roll damage.
Here we go.
Ooh. That's a good chunk of damage, blowing a good hole in its torso, in its horrible larval-like torso. That's your action. Alicia has grabbed the thermal imager, and she has it in one hand. So, actually, I'm going to use both of her actions. Looking through this with the camera in one hand, and she's aiming with the railgun on the other. Thankfully, it's on that tripod on the top, so it kind of steadies itself. As she takes another shot. Just a second. This time she takes a shot at the Black Fairy, the target that was supposed to be. But she misses. Oh, Alicia, you try.
She's too focused on the witchling.
There is one with nature. Blink continues to fire on the big guy on top of the truck. Hitting him. Doing. Ooh, another 40 points of damage. Nice. Although you hear her complaining that this guy must be making of tough stuff because even for a supernatural creature, she'd think this amount of firepower in him will cause him to bleed a little bit. But he's just covered with these little horrible divots in him. McLaughlin fires upon the wings of the Black Fairy. Actually, seeing what Patrick's doing, he's going to take the lead. He's actually going to switch his rifle to a pulse shot, and he's going to go for the main body. That's enough to hit. And that, I believe, does the pulse. Let me just quickly take a look. 46? 66. Oof. Another 19. All right, that Black Fairy is not looking great right now. Okay. As for Black Fairies, it's actually going to be keeping its action still. It's saving it to dodge, as is the Lugaroos. And so that's it pretty much, because they're saving it for kind of a last-minute defensive action. So go ahead, Al.
All right. Al's going to take another shot at the left head of the fairy.
All right.
Hopefully he can't miss all the time. Hopefully. Question mark. 11.
You miss.
I think you hit body?
That's enough to hit the main body, though, right?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it is. Sorry, yes,
Nice.
thank you.
Oh,
It is
no.
enough to hit the main body.
I was disappointed, too. All right.
I'm not disappointed. I'm rooting against you.
Wow. I thought you wanted
No,
us to
I'm-
succeed. Jeez.
I'm teasing.
18.
I know.
All right. You smack it in its ugly torso. Wha-cha. Tom, your turn.
All right. So this time, instead of a call lightning, because I'm restricted to only 2 per melee round, I am going
Yep.
to fire a firebolt at the Lugaroo, the yellow one.
I
Okie
thought they
dokie.
were. No, that's
No. The fairies are flame resistant. That's why I swapped.
Okay.
9.
Miss. Fireballs
Damn.
explode in the forest. It's becoming quite the war zone.
Mhm.
Bear is doing bear things. Blink is continuing to fire on the target that she can. She's maintaining her position as well. Hitting.
Nice.
Mm.
Doing a bit more damage.
I'm so
Okay.
glad that we got her a Samson.
McLaughlin's going to continue firing pulse shots into the fairy. Oh,
Ooh.
McLaughlin's. He has not missed yet.
Yeah.
He's taken all your luck. 18.
Yeah. That's the great thing about the old one-shot. Because I got that NG power pack, he can do 120 shots with it.
That's significant.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds here. Ooh. All right. Black fairies are not looking good. That was McLaughlin. No, I can't. Sorry, I just have to quickly check their speed value.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no. Well, they can go 60 miles per hour. That's how many. That's. Oh, I wish I had a speed value. Oh, no, there it is. 88. 88 feet a second. Give me a second. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're not going to close the distance immediately because here's the thing: they can't go full speed because there's fucking trees and shit in the way, right? And they're under fire.
Mhm.
So, but what they are going to do is that they're going to put. They know they're under fire. They're going to push themselves a little bit, kind of close the distance a bit more. The Lugaroos, however, are a little bit more patient. So Al.
Okay. I gotta keep on keeping on here. One of these days I'm gonna hit that damn head. All right. Left head and
All right.
Wow!
Roll damage. You hit it straight in its stupid head.
Yay. All right. So that's 8d6 24.
So 40. Oh, so 24 total?
Yeah, 24 total. Wasn't the best roll, but still.
The left head explodes. And a horrible greenish black blood coats the forest, causing a lot of the everything it touches to smolder with its toxic blood. And it causes the fairy to reel. I bet you wish it could. Oh, I couldn't dodge it either because it's a critical hit, and it would be really super hard to do because it's a laser shot. Go ahead, Tom.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do for my action. I am going to reach down, grab my black light blade, and grab the Witchfire, and I would like to activate them by saying the key phrase, Blade of Fire, Blade of Light, and pumping 40 ISP into my Dark Blade. Is that possible?
Good on you. Yep.
Fantastic.
Done and done. Bear is being bear. Lugaroos are now going to push it a bit more. All right, Al, your turn.
All right, how far away is the fairy and the Lugaroos from us now?
Now it's near the end of the 15 seconds. They're within almost 100 feet of you. They're almost upon you now.
Okay.
Except for the fairy. The fairy's like 250 feet away. So Lugaroos 100 feet, fairy 250.
All right.
You making one of its head explodes made it kind of reel a little bit. Why is there a 6 there?
Al is going to then. Okay. Question: to drop the juicer rifle and activate the black light blades, how many actions would you say that would take?
1.
Okay. Then Al is going to take another shot at the right head of the black fairy.
Okay. Roll a hit.
So, 15.
Okay, that's a weird roll. All right.
Yeah, that was a
Roll
little weird,
damage.
but that's a hit. All right.
46.
13 points of mega damage.
You shear off about half of it with that laser.
Half the head. Ooh.
Yep.
All right. Does it still look like it's kicking?
Yeah, it's still floating in there. 2 wounded eyes blinking at you hatefully. Well,
right,
you can't really see that in the thermal, so 2 dark spots blinking at you hatefully.
Right. He's going to take one more shot at it.
Uh-huh.
And that's 17.
Okay, roll damage.
13.
The right head meets the left head in paradise. Or hell, wherever this fucking fairy's going.
Okay. So the fairy's down. Then he's going to...
Yeah, it thuds to the ground with a sickening plop.
Perfect. Then with his last action, he's going to drop the rifle, draw and activate the night blades, the dark light blades, and activate his armor of Ithan with a thought. And he's going to be using
with
his
a
gym.
Thought?
The armor of Ithan's... well, I mean, with ISP, of course. Yes.
Yes, I know. Okay, all right. Because I'm like, with a thought implies that psychic. You have to concentrate a little bit to activate it. No problem.
I'm going to take PPE for the armor of Ithan from my stock, and I'm going to use my amulet to activate the dark light blades, which will drain the amulet.
Okay. All right. Done. Top of the order. Al.
Okay. So both of those Lugaroos are... Which is the closest one?
The green one by 10 feet.
Okay. Al is then going to rush and make a strike at the green one with one of the black light blades.
Rush. He's flying in the air.
Oh, how high above us is he?
80 feet. No, not 80 feet. That's too high. 25 feet.
Okay. Yeah. My power armor can have limited flight capability, so I'm gonna go up to meet it, and then take a whack at it.
Okay, that will take 2 actions.
Okay.
All right.
And
Roll the hit.
so, all right, my to hit is +8 in the power armor. I rolled a
You miss.
1. Yay.
You miss, Tom.
I would like to activate superhuman speed and wait for them to enter my melee range.
Okay. So you can just keep passing your turns until,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that's
Until
basically
your
what
next
I'm
one
planning
comes
on
up.
doing. Yeah.
All right, Patrick.
I'm going to take another shot body shot at the fairy.
Okie dokie. That's a hit.
Roll 4d6 plus 15.
Oh boy. Yep. You're hurting that fairy. Alicia. Doing a special Alicia psychological trauma check.
Oh, poor
Which
girl.
She can't see the witch. Oh yes, she can now. She can now because of yeah. Fuck you, witchling. Because of the thermo lens on the camera. 10 damage to it. Which is better than nothing. You hear her curse at her over the sound of the railgun firing off. The black fairy is nearly it's hovering about 75 feet away from the ATV. The witchling is about 200 feet away. But out from a concealed part of vegetation comes a laser shot. Give me a second. Oh, come on. All right. Need a space in there. What's he gonna be firing at? Go big or go home. No. Oh, good, bear. I'm glad you went for the body shot, or you would have missed. Continuing to severely injure the fairy. Blink is going to continue to fire at her only visual target. Although Alan Tom, you can see that the Lugaru's coming straight for Blink, and she has no idea it's coming.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Got it.
She misses big. She misses big ugly. The focus fire. Oh, his first miss. Oh, wait. I said it's 75 feet. Never mind. Okay. Red Fairy is dead. Red Black Fairy. Lol. And the Blue Fairy has decided that this is insane. It's getting this shit shot out of it. So it is taking to the sky, and it's climbing up now. It's actually spending its entire action. No, let's not do its entire action. That doesn't make much sense. I gotta give you guys a chance to react. So it is now trying to break through the tree line, and it's probably about 70 feet up into the air. The yellow Lugaru is the one that's going straight for Blink, and as it does a dive attack upon her, doing 2 actions. As it slams both its claws at her, and she cannot defend because she doesn't know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, if he was smart, he was going to go for the head, but Inferno was in a rush, so it's just main body. Doing 15 damage to her main body. Okay. That's okay. The guy on top of the truck of death, we'll just call it. What is he doing? Oh boy. Yeah. One black fairy is down and the other one isn't. So, all of you can see this from a distance, various times. The ones who are engaged in combat take a few more seconds. The amorphous blob on top begins to chant something over and over again in a guttural tone that no one recognizes, not even Patrick. And the corpses in the back of the truck begin to glow, a throbbing red glow. And many of the individuals on the spikes begin to glow a throbbing red glow. And the glow begins to brighten the more and more he begins to chant. But he continues to do this for 15 seconds. Luguru, the green one, decides to repay the favor, Al, by attempting to grapple with you. It's going to try to grab its claws around both your forearms and grip you.
Okay.
So first it has to do a basic to hit, which it critically succeeds. So there is... The only way to defend a critical attack is to roll with punch, but you can't roll. I mean, if you roll with it, it just still grabs you, right? So
Right.
It's pretty much an automatic success. So you're now both considered grappled. All right. So I got supernatural strength. You got robotic strength.
Mm-hmm.
What's your robotic strength? Do you know off the top of your head? Or do we have to
actually, I have it. I have it open. Let's see here. Equal to PS
physical
20.
strength.
Yeah.
That's not good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll a 1d20.
Okay.
Add nothing to it. Well, I get to add 15. Yeah. Your arms are... It's like a vice has gripped, and although it dents your armor a little bit, it doesn't do any structural damage. But your arms are held fast.
Does he do this through the armor of Ithan, or?
Yes. Because the armor of Ithan is just kind of armor... Okay, so I guess my description was wrong. He still holds you fast around your arms, but it doesn't dent your armor. It glows against the armor of Ithan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But suffice to say, it has you hanging in the air as its big wings are kind of flapping up there. And it doesn't do any additional attack, at least not yet, because it's not its turn. I mean, it used its turn to grapple you.
Right.
The witchling only needs 2 more actions to close the distance. And so she's going to head straight towards McLaughlin. So at the end of her action, as her torso body floats over towards him, he's going to be within 70 feet of her, which is all she needs. Top of the order, Al.
Okay.
You are grappled with this thing. It is, in the air with you. Magic involves you having to move your arms around, so casting a spell is going to be very difficult.
Got it.
So what do you want to do? You can do a pose grapple check, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. There's not a whole lot I can do.
Okay.
Can I?
You can pass your turn right now while you think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would it be possible for me to maybe try and use momentum or something to swing it around between me and Blink?
It's stronger than you. How are you going to use momentum?
Well, like it's diving into me, right? It
No,
would
not
be
anymore.
hard, I'm sure. Oh, okay, I see.
Not anymore. It stopped diving when you went to attack it.
Then I really have nothing I can do.
Okay.
So pass my turn, I guess.
Okay. Tom, you haven't you're held your turn, but it's your turn again, so I gotta tee you off. Well, no, not yet. But yeah, go ahead. What do you want to do?
Well, what I want to do is I want to yell at the top of my lungs to get the hell away from her, and I want to crash into this yellow guy while striking him with both of my blades. I will give up both my parry to strike at him with both swords.
Oh, okay.
Make a dual attack.
Yeah, you're relatively close by. We're gonna have the charge take 2 actions.
Well, I also have superhuman speed, so I have a speed of 44.
Sorry, I forgot about this whole speed thing. Okay, no, superhuman speed, you're able to close the distance within seconds, so...
Sweet.
Okie dokie. Roll your attacks.
20 plus. Let me get my sword bonus.
And you're not giving up your parry, you're giving up your auto parry for the rest of this round.
Yeah.
So, parrying will now take an action.
Cool. So this is with Witchfire. That will be a 26.
Okay. We'll try to parry it.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. So
go ahead and roll the other attack.
Oh, okay. So the other attack will be the same. 9.
It parries that one.
Okay.
All right. So roll damage for Witchfire.
Can it parry both the attacks?
Actually,
yeah. It would, in order to do that, it would have to give up. You can parry any attack that you can see heading towards you.
Okay.
You told me if someone's attacking with 2 weapons, you need paired weapons to parry both of them. Because that was one of the points of having paired weapons.
Yeah. Because it's not. Yeah, yes. I remember that now. That's right. Because they're both coming at the exact same time.
yeah.
But yeah, so he can't parry the other one. All right.
Okay.
So roll both damages.
So 1d4
Because they're coming at the exact same time. It'd be one thing if there was even a 1 second space between them, but there isn't. So yeah. That's right. So if 2 people were attacking you, then you'd be able to parry both, right? But if it's with the paired weapons, yeah.
Okay, so here. It's 1d4 times 10 plus 8 for the Witchfire and 1d4 times 10 for the Dark Light.
Yeah, go ahead and just roll the damage, homie.
Yeah, there you go.
Okie dokie. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nice roll.
That's why.
Tom, could you do a bit more damage, maybe?
I mean, okay.
Yeah, that was on the yellow one.
Yeah, that was on the yellow one.
Yep. Okay, great. You rip it anew a lot. These guys haven't had a chance to cast a fucking spell yet. You damn ambush. Who'd have thought? An advantageous position gives you an advantage, right? Patrick, your turn. Witchling's 70 feet away from McLaughlin. The Black Fairy is GTFOing. And there's chanting going on from the truck.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Patrick's really diligent with his plans. He doesn't know what the heck the fairy's doing. He's going to attack the fairy.
Okay. Main body?
Main body.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
All right.
Bloop. Alicia is screaming at the top of her lungs, going to shoot at the witchling. Missing it. Oh, that screaming's for nothing, Alicia. Another shot from Bear, though, is coming from his position. At the Witchling this time, but he misses. Oh my goodness. Blink is unable. I mean, Tom's kicking this thing's ass, but she can't really see, so she's just spending her action. She's taking a step back from the situation to give Tom more space in which to fight as she collects herself and raises up her weapon. McLaughlin is now going to focus on the Witchling, and he's going to take an aim shot at her head, which means he's actually okay. He misses. McLaughlin, this is what you get. Yellow Lugaroo. 2 seconds here. Is going to strike out reflexively at Tom. And what would you like to do wait, are you back yet, Burn? Oh, damn it.
I guess not.
We'll resolve it when he gets back. I don't want to be here for another hour, to be honest with you. I'm gonna need my sleep. So Green Lugaroo, the one that has Squee in its grip. We gotta do another oppose for this, the sake that you might succeed there. Never mind. There's no way you can succeed.
Nope.
So it's now going to be pecking at your helmet.
All right.
But it's like a guaranteed hit because you're right there. But here's the good news. It only does 4 damage to your armor of Vithan. Because it covers you, right?
Right.
So you're kind of pecking at each other. All right.
Well, he's pecking at me. Yes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Witchling begins to chant and cast a spell on McLaughlin as he rolls his defense versus magic and fails. He begins to clutch at his head and shake at it as if he's trying to shake away something. Cobwebs from his head. Al.
Question. Is it okay, so it's holding me trying to peck at my head.
Well, succeedingly pecking at your head, but yes.
Right, yeah. How much of its body is like, I'm assuming it's kind of standing in the air? Like, is there any part of its body above
standing
or
in the
below
air?
me?
It's kind of flapping, hovering its wings to maintain its own propulsion.
Okay. This is going to sound like a strange question, but if I curl up into a ball, would there be more of it below me or above me from, say, Blink's point of view?
How tall are you?
I think he's like 5'11".
In the armor, are you 8 feet?
Oh, in the armor, it's 7 feet, I believe.
You're bigger than it. It's 6 feet. You're 7 feet. So if you crawl up into a ball, maybe that makes you 5 feet. So that gives 1 foot for her to see. The wings will be easy for her to hit, but that's about it.
All right. Well, then that's
and if you curl up in the ball, she'd be able to see, like, I don't know, like the top of its neck. Like,
yeah, that's not really worth the risk.
This area.
I'm just gonna have to hold my turn.
Okay.
I can't break free of it, so.
Yep. All right, Tom, you got hit by the Lugaroo. Do you want to spend a turn and try parry it?
Nah. I'll let him hit me.
7 damage.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. I would like to attack it again. I would not be able to actually strike both times again, would I?
You can keep striking both times until you don't want to do that anymore.
Okay, so let's attack it. First strike, 26.
It's going to try to parry.
Mhm.
Needs a natural 20, but why not?
It can do it.
So close. Nope.
All right. And the second attack will be an 18.
Mary cannot parry that.
So the damage for that will be 58.
You murder it. You murder it so bad. Since it died, I'll be more descriptive this time.
All right.
Let's see. Witchblade, the blade from the Witchblade, hits it right in the forehead, shearing its head from forehead to beak, causing it to lull. And at the same time, your blacklight blade delves into its chest, getting right into its black, rotten, torturous heart, dealing 2 mortal blows at the same time as it falls to a side in black blood and feathers onto the ground. There you go.
Awesome.
That makes me happy. And that was the yellow one. It are dead. Whoop. Patrick.
Oh,
Black Fairy is like now 100 feet away. You can barely see it through the canopy of the trees. It's pretty clear that it's, well, I don't know if you know it's retreating. It's getting the fuck away from everything.
Yeah, Patrick's just not going to go after him anymore. There is a witch. Now, are witches weak against silver?
No.
Okay. So I guess he'll just use his, yeah, he'll just use his attack.
Okay.
And
You
miss.
miss.
All right.
Alicia yells at the witchling. Get away from him, you bitch! There you go, Alicia. That's all you needed. Was a little Ripley ripoff. Okay, witchling looks like she's seeing better days too. Bear's also going to join in the get away from him, you bitch party. Oh,
God
good job.
damn.
He went for a head this time too.
Wow.
Wow.
I take back the female NPC thing I said earlier.
Oh my goodness. Wait, let me check my... Oh, motherfucker, he beat it by 1. A shot comes from the underbrush as a laser pierces the center of her forehead as this awful gray-green brain matter spurts from the back of her head as she falls to the ground dead.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, I just want to double check. Well, I mean, she's dead. I said she's dead now. Yeah, the way I do head calculations for MDC based on her base MDC on this one. Yep, she dead.
Damn. Nicely done, Bear.
Well, he did need a critical hit to hit her.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that brings it down. So that was Bear. Way to earn your action there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Blink. She gives a grateful look to Tom through the visor, and then she looks up to Al struggling, and she begins to move. She's going to spend 2 actions, so she gets into a better direction. So, like, if you're hovering in the air, Al, where are we here? Anyways, let's not over analyze this. She's getting in a better angle so she can shoot the thing fucking gripping you.
Okay.
Okay? That's Blink. McLaughlin's head clears immediately, but he's still a little bit stunned, so he takes the action to get aware of his surroundings once more. Everything else is dead, except for our good friend Lugaroo Green.
Mhm.
It saw its, spoiler alert, its mate get murdered by Tom. Yeah. It is a semi-intelligent being, which means it knows when it's outnumbered. Good news, Al. Let's go of you.
Aw, come at me,
And
bro.
don't goad the demon bird. Anyways, he lets go of your grip and turns around in the air and flaps its wings a few times and begins to soar away from the fight. The furthest it can get, however, is about 120 feet, expending its entire turn. Al.
All right. So, from Al's point of view, everything on our side is dead or flying away.
Correct.
Al is then going to. Oh, this is a little dangerous, but he's going to charge full speed, terrain hopping. Well, unless it would be faster flying above the trees. But whatever the case, he's going to fly towards the big guy because it's the one target left that's a threat.
What's your speed?
Hang on, let me see what the speed is flying. So terrain hopping is 170. No, I'm sorry. It's 180 miles an hour to terrain hop, but there's trees. However, his flying, I can maintain a speed of 170 miles an hour. Oh no, wait. Nope, that's power jumping. I can 100 miles an hour is max flying.
Okay, 100 miles an hour is pretty fast. So we're going to say if you put up thrusters from 0 to 100, it's going to take a few seconds to engage. 3 actions and you'll get within 100 feet of the truck.
Okay, and if it takes a little bit more time, he is going to try and stay above it so that Blink would still have a clear shot at it.
Then we're going to take one more action.
That's fine.
For that.
Yeah, because I don't want to block her.
Sure, Tom.
I'm going to start rushing towards the truck.
Okay.
Moving at speed value 44.
So very similar to Al. Using up the rest of your turns, you'll get about 250 feet away from it.
Sounds good.
By the end of this 15 seconds. Patrick.
May I take a... Yeah, I would like to try to direct Alicia because she has that's who has like the spraying gun.
Oh, you mean the railgun?
Yes,
Alicia.
All right.
You mean on top of the vehicle?
Yes.
Yeah, Alicia.
Patrick would say, spray up into the canopy. And he's going to point up.
Okay.
And,
you can do a paired action if you want.
Mhm.
All right. Alicia lets out a huge long burst using both of her actions and sprays and tears into the canopy itself, knocking down trees, the tops of trees, branches, everything like that. And then doing so, you can see, for at least the next few seconds, the fairy still trying to run away.
Patrick is going to use his next 7 to 8 seconds to cast a spell.
Okie dokie, what spell?
Call lightning.
Oh, neat. All right. Roll to hit.
I think that's an automatic one. I checked the spell like 3 times now.
Oh,
There's
did you?
no to hit.
Do I have to do like a save? Save versus magic?
It doesn't say anything. It's up to the GM at this point.
Well, if it's up to the GM says it's an auto hit for now, and we can suss it out later.
Yeah.
Roll damage.
Mm, mm,
Crispy fried blackberry. Wow. 27?
Even the sky's against
It
it.
had 120 hit points. You did that, made it have 121 mega damage. That's amazing. You also beat it by 1, which is, I guess, by 2, because if you got 120, it would have died too. So, yeah. It zaps in the air. Now, of course, Patrick, I'm going to have to eat up a couple more turns,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
obviously. But that's that. All right. People don't. Bear has now shifted positions to someplace. Blink is continuing to unload on the chanting man. And she hits. Come on. 1d6 times 10. Huh. She unloads, but it doesn't stop him from doing his strange, garbled chanting whatsoever. That's it. We're back at the top of the order. Al?
All right. I am going to use my last action. I am within striking range now. Yes.
Like hand-to-hand striking range?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, sure.
Okay. I'm going to.
I said you were 100 feet, but since you're going with all
Oh.
that momentum, I'm going to say you can close the last 100 feet and strike at him in one
Okay.
action.
All right. Then I'm going to attack with both black light blades.
All right, roll a hit.
All right. So.
Just don't roll one.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the first one.
Really, he's not defending himself. You need over 5. I'm sure your bonus to strike is more than +4.
Yeah. All right.
Roll damage.
So then roll damage. Okay, yeah. 57.
Duh. Look at all
That's
those
a lot of
sixes.
damages.
That's a lot of sixes.
That's a lot of
That is
sixes,
1,
and I'm
2, 3, 4, 5,
impressed.
6, 7, 8.
However, 20. So you do a significant amount of damage. Now, this is the first time you've seen these black light blades in action, but you'd think you'd rend, create some blood or whatever. But when you sink it into his flesh, it burns his skin very, very badly until it's black almost, but it doesn't pierce it. You're doing damage to him, but maybe not the full potential of what this weapon's supposed to do. And he continues to chant. He has pockmarks all over him. He looks like he's been, his skin almost looks like the exterior of body armor or power armor that has been, in battle.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not acting wounded, he's not sounding pained, and he's continuing to chant. And as you attack him, he's almost confident. He's looking up at you with his big putrid eyes, and the corner of his gape-like mouth as he chants almost smiles a little bit. As the corpses, and now the entire truck is beginning to glow. And here's the thing. I'm going to end it here, oddly enough. Yeah, I'm going to end it here, oddly enough.
That's fine. I can't imagine
Because honestly, I don't think I can handle a whole another round. That's going to be like another half hour.
Yeah.
And I got to go to bed.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it sounds strange, but at least we're at the top of the order, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can act as we need to. And don't worry, the beginning of next turn, the truck isn't going to explode or anything like that. You guys are still going to have actions to do to kind of deal with this strange situation of this guy on this truck. but we're gonna call it from here. I know
All
a bit
right.
of a cliffhanger, but
That's
what
fine.
can you do?
I'll let you guys know, like, my plan right now at the beginning of the next turn. I'm going to shove my fist in his mouth. Can't chant if you got a black dark light blade in your mouth.
Wow.
Maybe.
Thing.
Graphic. Anyways,
Yeah, well.
thank you guys for watching. We will see you next Wednesday
Bye, everyone.
for 3
Bye.
galaxies. Also next Sunday for Rifts. I don't know why I said
Got it.
Wednesday. But yeah. Anyways, ta-ta. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.